Peggy 16.
Your brother was lost thanks to the deceit and treachery of your enemies. Now, the weight of your bloodline lies on your shoulders. Be thankful to your enemies, for they teach you the ways to power. You must learn the ways of commerce and combat, but never fight with swords when a dagger will do. Keep your enemies close. The first step in avoiding the trap is knowing it is there. Real strategy requires cunning. Remember that, and your dynasty will rule this land through the ages.
All right. Hello, everyone. It's Thursday night, right, Brad? Y'all know what that means. You take it to the bank. It's Game Lawyer stream. Okay. How's everyone doing tonight? I see EV23 first in the room. Or, spoiler alert, should I say, hi, Queen EV23. We'll get to that a little bit later. And hello, Nick C. Hello, Brad Pritchard. Mr. Carr. Can't believe I'm playing Crusader Kings 3 again. What happened to my desire to spite you? Well, I figure, I could still spite you while I'm playing Crusader Kings 3. I could spend an hour reading over people's traits over and over again. Staying on that pause screen forever. There's plenty of ways I can still aggravate you, Brad. Even though I'm playing a game that you broadly enjoy. Probably when other people play it, or maybe if you play it. Yeah, we could talk about camping for 3 hours, too. And then I could get inspired and fire up Sons of the Forest again. It's kind of a given I'll say the same things as last week. It's true, although, things have changed. There will be new things introduced in-game. That's a little loud. So, yeah, but, I'm kind of surprised I'm still playing this game too, honestly. But I think part of it is I just haven't been spending a lot of time playing games. So I'm still sort of trying to talk myself into going back and playing Midnight Suns. I don't know if I'm going to keep streaming that, but I feel like I need to finish it. So it's on my back burner. I did, I think last weekend I played a bunch of The Forest. That was the thing that I needed to get out of my system. I don't know if it's completely out of my system, but I played enough Forest that as I came back into the week, the game that I have been playing, usually maybe only an hour or two, some nights after work, has been Crusader Kings 3. So we made some progress. You're still upset about Iron Man not having permadeath? You want the first time... Just Iron Man in particular, or all of them? That the first time I accidentally get one of them killed, they're just dead forever? That's right, Matus. It's lawyer here out, Matus, I noticed this 2 weeks in a row where you're having trouble with word order. I certainly hope that it's not indicative that you've suffered from some sort of a brain thing recently. But, I'm happy to see you. You got all the right words. They're just kind of, I know what you mean, You want to know all of them, but especially Iron Man. The guy's a real dick. Yeah, you're not entirely wrong. No, not entirely. This is like 5 years of trouble. Well, it's lawyer here out. I don't remember that. My recollection is that Matus, you frequently have the right formula of words. You just plug in a lot of weird, it's like what are those things? The ad libs. You plug in a lot of, but they're always relevant to what's happening. They're not ever just random. So if it's hot outside, maybe you are actually referencing the weather. But if whatever else is going on, you're integrating timely and relevant substitutions. But usually in the right order. I don't know. Maybe it's always been mixed up and I never noticed it. You guys may not have noticed this, but sometimes when I'm streaming, I don't notice things. So, hold on. I was going to see about... I was going to ask you what you think of the new lineup for Humble, Brad. That Ghostwire Tokyo is a game that I've been curious, I've been interested to play, but I've heard it's jank enough that I would probably never have bought it. So that's on my checkout list. And there was one other one. Oh, Honey, I Joined a Cult. I thought that one looked like it could be fun. I don't get them unlocked yet, so I don't know if you've tried any yet. A lot of grimdark shit. Now I gotta look at it again. Oh yeah, Remnant I don't care about. For some reason I thought we already got Remnant once. Dead Cells, I can't remember if you've ever played Dead Cells. It seems like the kind of game you'd like. Although I streamed it once and I think you hate it when I played it. How different is it from other games in the genre? Well, I've heard it's not really... Like, it's not like RimWorld with a cult theme. It's like a lot more basic than that. Because I think Honey, I Joined a Cult was one that it popped up a few months ago and I looked at it and I was looking at reviews for it and stuff because it sounded kind of interesting. And I remember thinking it seemed like people were saying it's not a super... You don't really feel like you're running a cult. It's like nothing is super advanced. It's just kind of like a for fun game. Well, Curse of the Dead Gods is Dead Cells. Which, that's like I think, even though that's not always... It's very frequently not my style of game. That Metroidvania type of gameplay, but procedural. Dead Cells is a really good game. So I'm trying to figure, is that Dead Cells? Is that what they're giving us? And they're just like touting the fact that there's a recent update called Curse of the Dead Gods? I didn't look that closely at it because I already have Dead Cells. It is not Dead Cells? Okay, now I gotta look at it. Because it says, oh, Dead Cells themed content? Is that what it is? Curse of the Dead Cells update has been added to the game. See, I still don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Now I have to look at the whole thing. So what is the actual game? Curse of the Dead Gods Dead Cells update. Is that what it is? Curse of the Dead Gods, totally separate game. Oh, yeah, you're right, Brad. I honestly didn't even look close enough to see what the game was. It looks kind of like a Diablo-esque, like top-down isometric combat thingy. All right, now I didn't even look at it because, yeah, I guess I should have. I mean, not that that's super duper my type of game either, but yeah, no, I never heard of Curse of the Dead Gods. My brain just synthesized it as, because they'll do that, like Dead Cells will have updates, and when you look, or some games will, not just Dead Cells, but they'll do that where they'll have an update and then you'll look on their, like the title page for them, and they'll make the whole game look like that update. All right, what the hell's going on? Am I horribly out of sync? I don't know if it's just me. Oh wait, never mind. I lied. I was looking at my actual YouTube preview instead of OBS. I looked over and I saw like me completely unsynced from my stream. But I had OBS under some other stuff. Never mind. I'm horribly in sync. Yeah, baby. Yeah, but we went out of style 20 years ago is the only problem. You don't really want to play Eternal Threads? Yeah, really the only ones that I even kind of recognized were Ghostwire Tokyo and Curse of the Dead Gods. And there was some game that popped up on sale yesterday on Steam that was for like $3. It's like a horror game that kind of looked really cool. It's usually $30. I don't know why it was so cheap. So I picked that up for maybe to play in October. That was my other acquisition. Starting your second serum for your allergy shots tomorrow. Can't remember how many doses there are. So wait, how does that work, Evie? Like, are they making adjustments, but you're going to keep getting shots? Like, is getting the shots just going to be a somewhat regular occurrence? Like, every certain amount of time, you just get allergy shots? I just know I had a friend when I was growing up that had... No, wait. Were they allergy shots? Actually, no, I don't remember what... Now that I'm thinking about it. This is like I was like 5 years old. I barely remember. He had to go once a week, but I think they were for... He had like... He called them his hyper shots. A kid like had serious behavioral issues. Like he was like hyperactive, and they gave him some kind of... And this is back in the 70s too, so I don't know how the... I don't know what the hell they were giving him back then. Never fear. Fear. Pokefan is here. Hey, Pokefan. Wait, never fear? Or never fear, but fear Pokefan is here. How you doing, Pokefan? Welcome. Happy Thursday. All right, let me look at all this shit that I... Yeah, look into it, Nick. But at the very least, Brad might gift it to you if he has no interest in it. But really, I think with Humble Monthly, if you're ever aware, like at this point, someone who's not subbed at all, Brad, can just drop $12 and get these games, right? They're only locked out once the games release, like at the end of June / beginning of July, I think. So I'd say even if you're not, if that's the case, which I think it is, even if you're not subbed to Humble Choice, it's worth keeping an eye out on the games because if there's even one game on their monthly lineup that you're interested in, you're getting it for $12, you know, plus 8 more games. Or I guess now they've looks like they're doing 8 games total. It used to be like 10, 12 games. They're going to go up to a year, and then the serums increase in intensity. They start out low. That sounds kind of medically sinister, but I don't know anything about how that works. It made me think my wife's got all sorts of allergies, so I was like, maybe she should look into that shit. She's allergic to everything. But actually, she also has weird, like, blood issues, so probably at some point the doctors told her she couldn't have... I can't imagine she's never thought to talk about her allergies with her doctors, so I'm gonna butt out on that for as far as Amanda's concerned. All right, hello, Cole Smurf 23. Welcome. How you doing? Hello. Are you here because you heard it was Thursday night, and Thursday night is gaming lawyer stream? You can take it to the bank. Just watch out when you get to the bank. That's all I'm saying. I've heard reports sometimes they're not the nicest over there. Nick, how they been treating you at the bank lately? They shot it low to get your body used to it. And then, oh, okay, nothing sinister. So, flash forward a year, and Evie's like a vampire. It's like, Evie's posting selfies, and she's got like fangs and stuff. It's like, what the hell? They've increased my serum. Craving blood now. So now I'm looking up here. I generally say that I'm missing. Here's all the shit that I was missing before. Brad said that I'll generally say your work uses up all your reading comprehension. That's true, but I think, well, you know what? I was going to say that the inherent activity of live streaming also is it's like a attention dividing activity. But on the flip side, I'm doing stuff like having people shadow me while I work and present things constantly. And I feel like I stay pretty well, like, laser focused on what I'm doing in those circumstances. So maybe I'm just worn out by the end of the day, but I think if I stream on a Saturday, the same thing happens. So I can't always just blame it like my brain's tired from working. Hey, look, it's Alali! You're still in control of a county, Alali. Just so you know, you're doing a great job. Though I think I did take you off of your council position. There was just someone that was just a whole lot better at it than you. But no, maybe I put you back. Maybe I put Hunty on. I'm gonna have to look. We get back into the game. There's been some mixing stuff up. Some years have passed since last week's Crusader Kings 3 stream. A Diablo-esque roguelike. Curse of the Dead Gods. Okay. There's Brad, very, very insistently. Here I am 10 minutes later, looking at all the stuff. Like, if I just looked at what you were saying, I would have understood all the musings. I'm absently musing. Oh, what's Curse of the Dead Gods? Isn't that Dead Cell? Is it an update for Dead Cell? And I'm just speculating for 10 minutes as, like, concrete, informative answers are flooding my chat, trying to help me stop not understanding. All right. Alali sees Brad, and Brad sees Alali. Let's see, making cordon bleu next week. All right, more cooking. Evie doing more cooking. Evolving. I think, I forgot to respond, but I saw you posted something from Church's Chicken, and Church's Chicken answered you. I was like, oh, that's cool. Is that what happened? Anyways, I wanted to say, even though I think I just saw a notification. I didn't actually go and look. I didn't go to Twitter. But I saw that, and I was like, damn. Evie's getting some media attention. Maybe you're going to be a big influencer someday. As long as I'm looking at stuff. Hey, look, Kingdom Come Deliverance. Ooh, wait, Sands of Salazar. I think that's like a janky game that I almost considered getting a while back. It's supposed to be super jank, though. It's like super jank indie game. I'm gonna have to take another look at that. But I have a feeling it's one of those games, if I bought it, I'd never play it. Have you heard of that, Brad? Sands of Salazar? It's like an indie sort of strategy fighting, but like Japanese game, Chinese game. I don't know where they made it. It's got like Chinese symbols in the developer name. Sands of Salazar. So you're familiar with it? I remember it looked interesting, and I watched people talking about it. I forget who. It might have been our favorite friend, Splattercat. But it might have been someone else, too. I think someone else. Maybe it was both. Who's the other guy that we watched? Mortismal Gaming? One of those guys was talking about this game like a year ago. And I remember thinking it sounded really interesting, kind of unique, but also kind of like shitty at the same time. Like it's really like rough. But it's $5.99. The thing is, like I said, if I bought it, I might never get around to playing it because I'm not looking at it now going, oh shit, I want to play that game. I'm looking at it like, that game seems interesting enough that I'd like to try it. but I don't know when I would want to try it. I guess the one that I bought is already... Maybe because I bought it. Oh, it's called In Sound Mind. In Sound Mind. I don't know if it's still on sale. But it looked kind of cool. Page. And it has music by The Living Tombstone. The only reason I know The Living Tombstone, I don't know if that's like a band that people know who the hell they are, because I'm out of touch with music. The reason I know The Living Tombstone is because I listen to music a lot when I work now, and I have Prime Music. It's basically like, you know, whatever. Their own music service that you get discounted if you have Prime, so I have it. And I discovered lots of new music, just sort of like this leads to this, leads to this, leads to this. And I have this ever-growing playlist that I've created that I listen to while I work. And one of the songs on there is, what is it, if you guys ever watch Rick and Morty, there's an episode where there's this, like, alien gas thing that's like a super advanced alien presence or entity of some kind, and it sings this song called this Goodbye Moon Men, which sounds like a Bowie song. It's got really strong Space Oddity vibes, like Captain Tom vibes, but the lyrics are all just nonsense. But to me, it's like a really catchy song. And so one day on a whim, I thought of that song, and I'm like, I'll bet people have done like remixed the hell out of that song. And I found like a techno remix of Goodbye Moon Men by this band. I think it was the Living Tombstones that did it. You know what I'm talking about? Now I can't remember if I'm thinking of the right band, though. I have to look. Yeah, it's the Living Tombstones. You know that remix specifically? Here, I'll play it for a second.
The worlds can be one together, cosmos without hatred, stars like diamonds in your eye.
I think it sounds really cool, but it's nonsense.
The ground can be space, 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 space. With feet
And then the Goodbye Moon, we gotta get to the Goodbye Moon Men part.
sky.
Wait for it.
All the moon men want things their way, but we make sure they see the sun. Goodbye,
This is a...
we say goodbye.
This is good stuff. All right, okay, so anyways, before I have a feeling that's not the kind of song that's gonna get me completely blasted off of YouTube for copyright, but they're probably gonna take my monetization away. But yeah, as I was listening to that song too, because I never listened to it with these headphones on, and these headphones are fucking jamming. Like these headphones have really, at least as far as my not this super discerning ear goes, these headphones have really good, powerful sound quality. And I think that's the first time I listened to that song with these headphones on. That's why I was getting all like, yeah, I'm getting totally into it. But yeah, I think I've got about, I don't know, let me see. I've accumulated about 30 songs on this list. And they're all songs like that I've never heard of before. Just rando. Like one thing led to another. Because after you've listened to a certain amount of things, you can just, you listen to your playlist, and then when the playlist is done, it'll just randomly pick songs that it thinks you're going to like based on the stuff that you've been paying attention to. But, alright, we're going to leave my playlist alone. But I love all the music that I found. Maybe I'm not going to leave the playlist alone. Where's it? No, I'm gonna leave it alone. All right. I don't want to get sucked into playing weird music that no one's ever heard of and probably no one gives a shit about. When we all came here to watch me play Crusader Kings, right? Wait, is my stream? It didn't die, did it? All right, we're still good. All of a sudden, I noticed like no one said anything since Alali said space. And then I was like, wait, shit, as I was saying, oh, they're not going to shut me down over this. That'd be ironic if that's when I got shut down. Probably when I played Goodbye Spacemen, everyone else in my chat who normally hangs out took off. Like, Brad's gone, Nick's gone. Joss was probably lurking, and then he heard that shit. He's like, this sounds too much like Bowie. He said, fuck, and he disappeared. Sorry, Joss, if you were lurking. You're here for the Moon Men? So wait, Alali, have you heard that particular remix before, or you just know the Goodbye Moon Men song? Or you knew that remix? Anyways, the headline, what made me think of that right now, is that game that I bought has music by the same band that did that version of Goodbye Moon Men. So there you go. Just a 10-minute detour for me to tell you something really basic that most of you didn't care about to begin with. Both. Okay, good deal. So wait, do you know, is that band like a known commodity? Like, do the kids all know that band these days? Or is it just like some weird obscure thing that like some Rick and Morty fans have found? You've been playing Diablo? Oh, playing Diablo, not chatting much. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Hey, Nick, how you liking Diablo? Let's see. They did a spooky, scary skeletons cover. All right. Let me see. How long we've been going? You know, I got to keep an eye on the time. Because I know you're all here for the game. Oh, it's only 28 minutes in. Oh, we got plenty of time. Rick, oh, there's Hunty, Evie's other daughter. Rawr, Hunty. How you doing? Good to see you. Pretty soon we're going to jump into the game. You're going to get a status report on how you guys are doing your roles in the dynasty. How you been up to? Hunty, I will say, Hunty, you've been married like 4 times now. You keep marrying like somewhat prominent people from other kingdoms and dynasties, and then they die. Sometimes you're marrying old, and that's why. But even the ones that aren't old, like, I think you've had 3 husbands that have died. So I don't know what you're doing to those guys, or maybe it's just a coincidence. But anyways, it's just notable though, is we keep arranging marriages for you with powerful dynasties and like forming alliances, which have come in real handy in some of the warmongering that I've done. I know Brad won't approve, but I did warmongering. It's just misunderstandings. Yeah, I think you're on your 4th now. Maybe your 3rd. I mean, you might just be on your 3rd. All I know is it's happened enough. I think you're still in your 20s. So it's happened enough that I've taken note. Like, wow, Hunty keeps being a widow and getting married, getting remarried. So, well, I might as well get into the game, huh? Let's see. Because I can still talk and not play the game while I'm in the game.
45 seconds of gameplay.
All right. So first thing we're going to notice right off the bat, we have formed the Kingdom of Ireland. And we've got control of all of it except for this little doohickey. We actually... oh, shit. It's a different kingdom now. That guy, the Isles, I think he got taken over. Anyways, he was getting ripped up, I think, by internal rebellions. And we took advantage of the situation and took back one of our counties that he was occupying. So, but we are now the kingdom, officially the Kingdom of Ireland. And Evie is now no longer a High Chiefess. She is now the High Queen Evie 23 Nick Lawrence. So Evie is now queen, which is kind of a big deal. Let's see how we're there's Sister Alali. Let's see how the council's doing. I forget if what you guys. Oh, Yumi is now the spy master. But I think Alali, I think you were the steward before. With your well, actually your skill has gone up. It's 14 now. Before it was like 12 or 11 or 12. And then we met this guy. His skill is 24. So it's kind of like, yeah, Alali is going to be a little mad at me for firing her out of this position, but this dude is twice as good at her as she is at this job. So, let me see. Who's this? Who's this guy? 18 doesn't seem that impressive. Oh, I guess it's the best we've got. Okay. We've lost some we've lost some counselors. Just say it like that. You're gonna be on the original Snap show that they had before television was invented? I don't think I know that. I don't know that one. The Snapped. So wait, let's see. So Hunty is is Evie's eldest daughter. Let's see. Right now, she is married to Duke Rodrigo II Dieguez of Castile. Wait, where's she at? So you are now Duchess Hunty, Nig Evie 23 of Castile. So you're a little far away. Let me see. It's down here. But this is this is a decent chunk. It's not a small thing. There's a lot of counties that you guys have control of, and you're our allies, and you're right on the water. So like that's an advantage of if you make allies with someone that's all like landlocked and like one count in Moravia, and you go to war, it's going to take them 2 years just to get to you. But having a Duchess Hunty here in Castile, all they got to do is put a bunch of dudes on a boat, and they're like just a short ship ride away from helping us do war, you know? Are we counting the fiance that died while Hunty was betrothed? Did that happen? Did that happen last week? Oh, there's a king. Okay, no, we need, The thing is, I don't think they give the history of her husbands. I thought they did. But basically, as soon as the husband dies, they get removed from your relationships. I think. Can I look at... Oh, previous. Okay, yeah, now we can look at... Okay, so yes, right now she's married to Duke Rodrigo II. Before Here he's looking very dead. Aid Mexinade Alpin died of old age at the age of 70. Before that, it was Rimbert van Bremen, died at the age of 21. It was supposed to be the love of her life. He died from internal injuries. I think maybe there was in some sort of a war or something, and he got, he decided to lead a charge. I don't know what happened, but I think they were at war, and he participated in the on the battlefield. That didn't work out well for him. It would have been, I can't confirm or deny this, but it's entirely possible he may have been fighting one of our wars. Because as they've been our allies, or when they were allies, whenever we go to war, I'd call them in as allies to get involved. She got betrothed when she was 12 to a 60-ish year old? Okay, no, they didn't even, I don't think they count betrothals. Well, there's 21s, or this guy wasn't that old, but let's see. Oh wait, what was he? This guy was 21, so he was not that old. 70's pretty old. The guy she's married to now is 46. That's not old. That's younger than I am. So it's very youthful. Very youthful. That's 3 years younger than me. Don't call him old. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, can't you just get along? I don't know what may be happening in there, but... Oh, let's see. I can actually see Hunty's opinion of Duke Rodrigo II. She likes him. She got a plus 17. Oh, I guess you're on the council. Huh, that's, I wonder what you're doing on his council. You're a pretty good diplomat. He might be his chancellor. Yeah, all right. Oh. Yeah, really went for the old guys. Well, I appreciate you not saying that 46 is old, man. But I forgot about the, it's totally out of mind at this point. That was like a whole week ago. So much has happened since then. So, and I'm still, the other thing that I've sort of been doing is, because it keeps reminding me that the heir, Evie's firstborn and son, sole heir to the dynasty, all of her holdings, I've kept him from getting married. Because I don't want him pumping out a bunch of kids. While I can't control him. While he's an NPC. Because, you know, we got that succession law where all the stuff, whenever the ruler dies, all their stuff gets divided equally amongst their children. So, my philosophy is you gotta manage that shit. So, we'll see. Eventually, I might have him marry off. If he's pushing like 50, and Evie still looks like she's nowhere near done. Like Evie looks like she's got another 30 years. She's never gonna die. Then maybe I marry him off and see if he starts having kids. But I think I'm gonna at least wait till he's in his 40s. And hey, howdy, Ethan, how you doing, man? Let me see. What else? Oh, I played D&D with my... Sorry, I know this particularly hurts Brad especially. I played D&D with my high school group on this past weekend. Right now, I've sort of... The campaign is, like, becoming very homebrew. But the main thing that they've been dealing with lately has been... for April Fools, I decided it would be funny to reach back to our high school days. For years when we played in high school, there was this one villain that never, like, if they killed him, he'd come back as an undead a year later or whatever. Like, he just kept popping back up again. And so I had him pop into our campaign, and our last session, they're in the middle of the. They finally have this big showdown with him, and I made him pretty flippin' powerful. So, but yeah, it's kind of fun. When they realized they figured out when they first saw the reveal, they sort of figured out very quickly who it was. But the idea was, I don't know if you remember this whole setup I had, but there's only 4 of them, and they didn't have a healer. So I kind of had this part of the plot set up to where this, like an interdimensional character from our old game, like almost a godlike character from our high school campaign. Back then, he had this thing where he was doing cloning experiments on the party. And so I decided to use that to say, like, he's been monitoring these people as well. And he sent basically a cloned copy of the healer from our high school group to be their healer here. But he's like a kind of a defective copy. He's an NPC with no, like, they can't ask him, and he has no insight. He has no nothing. He's just like, he's a fun character. He's a fun character, but anyways. So the pretense of bringing this villain back from high school was that in high school, this was the villain when they played the 1985 version of at Temple of Elemental Evil. And this was a servant for the god behind the Temple of Elemental Evil. So which in Princess of the Apocalypse, that is the Elder Eye, who they say oversees like elemental evil in different worlds and different dimensions. Like so I'm like, it's totally conceivable that the Elder Eye is like noticing, oh well shit, one of the priests that took out my temple in Greyhawk, somehow he's here in the Forgotten Realms messing with my shit here. He doesn't belong here. He's not from this world. He doesn't belong here. So he picked up their old arch villain from that world to retrieve him. To like go to this other world. That this priest doesn't belong there. Go get him, bring him back to this world, and then we'll deal with them here. So anyways, that's been. But the clone is like a young, like, basically the clone was right when their group was starting out version of them. So that's how they knew exactly who the villain was, because as soon as he saw the group and he saw this priest, he called the priest out by name and said, "You look so young." And everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's him!" They all like, I don't know if they were impressed or they thought it was dumb as shit, but that was like, he seemed super powerful, so he basically said, "You can surrender it out. If you surrender him to me now, then I'll take him, we'll part in peace, and we'll go our separate ways." And he said, "The only concession I will make is you can have one last day with him, but I'll come back tomorrow at midnight, and I'll take him, and I'll kill all of you. So if you want to buy one more day with your friend, the price is going to be all of your lives." And of course, they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll do it." They're thinking like they can figure out a way to like beat him and stuff. And they're trying to figure out ways like where should they be at midnight and try to have spells ready, because they don't have watches, so they don't know exactly when midnight's going to be. So the whole session was them planning around like, getting ready for midnight. And what I actually did is I found a JPEG of the original Temple of Elemental Evil map, like the actual cathedral the top level, the iconic Temple of Elemental Evil. TSR, it says right on the bottom, TSR copyright 1985. And I ported it into Fantasy Grounds and put a battle grid on it. And so when this dude showed up, I had him slam his sword into the ground, and like the whole world rippled, and they ended up in like I ported them all over to this map, and it's a very crudely written map. So the joke was that their priest, who's a little like copy of a copy, a little weird. He looks around, and as soon as they teleport there, the first thing he says is like, "Oh my gosh, this is exactly the way I remember it. It's a temple of elemental evil. So I was like, yeah, everything looks very weird and cartoonish. But that's good times. Cloning is good, allows your characters to die. Well, those clones were never used for that purpose. It was, they were just like, he had this tower. It was like an extra dimensional tower. And they'd be traveling the world doing things. And then throughout our campaign over the years, every once in a while, they'd be someplace, and all of a sudden they would look on the horizon, and his tower would just be there. And I go, oh God, here he is again. And he's actually, I think I always had him as like, he was lawful good, but he was so like detached from sort of the human mindset and the worldly mindset that what he did was inscrutable and wasn't always beneficial. So like he had the effect of being true neutral, but he had a fixation on the party. So yeah, they went into his tower once and he had cloned versions of the party running around as servants, like serving them food and stuff. And they're all like, what the hell is this? And he's like, but then he wouldn't give them a straight answer about why he was doing that. It's just like, you know, it's research, just research, you know, whatever. Anyways, back to Crusader Kings 3. I'm still technically within the first hour of the stream, so I don't have to play yet. I technically have another 13 minutes and 15 seconds before I need to hit the unpause button. So Nick, you're running Princes of the Apocalypse, like another game? Did you finish the one with Joss? I forget, or I know he got busy for a while, so I wasn't sure if you ever completed that or not. I'm sure you told me one way or the other, but you know how I am. So you're starting a new campaign. Nick, you seem like you really, is it just the momentum of, I was going to say, you seem like you really like Princes of the Apocalypse, but is it just because you've figured out like the way you'd like to present it? Because it's so sandboxy. That would be my temptation too, is I've laid the groundwork for what all these different characters are like, and I've added all this dimension to like the relationship between the cults and how they do their recruiting. That stuff's evolved so much that if I started another campaign, I would be tempted to play it again, even though like a part of me is like, man, there's so many other adventures that people like better that I should probably try something else. There's also like 10 other published modules that I'd love to play someday, and I know I'll never have time. Okay, you like dungeon crawls, plus now you know it. And Hunty, you played D&D? Well, honestly, from moment to moment, D&D sessions aren't always near as exciting as all that kind of crazy stuff that I'm doing with my friends. I'm trying to think like the campaign that we were briefly running with some of you guys on YouTube. I actually think I did have some good storytelling going on in there. I thought, I don't know, maybe other people thought it was garbage, but I thought I was setting up some good storytelling in there. Do you guys think, or do you think I was being like railroady? I like the idea of a totally homebrew. I just don't have, like, I've given it a shot a couple times, and I feel like I think I probably make it too big a thing to where I end up just not doing it at all. Like, I'll be designing the world, I'll be writing histories, I'll be trying to come up, like, I'll just be laying groundwork. And I think what you need to do is more like, I think, Nick, you've showed me how you've done homebrews, and it's just like, and I've heard this advice too, where you just start with the basic, like, hey, all you really need to begin with is the town that they're in and a little bit of the nearby world and some places in it where adventures are going to happen. You don't need to have 10,000 years of the 10 different nations and how they, their histories have intertwined over the years leading into the present day, which is more like how I'm tempted to do it. And the whole time, even when I'm doing that, I'm going, this is overkill. Like, most of this is never going to come up in the game. It's just like, but I'll know it's there, right? It was a good story. Schedule conflicts were, yeah. And that was a thing too, where it's like, because it was like the second game that I was running, and that was hard enough to schedule that. Like and also running two games, I just was like kind of feeling burnout. So it was kind of like, yeah, this is feeling like it's just too hard to make between running both games. It just felt like it was just too hard to make it go. And then also running it on YouTube with all the additional layers of technology that I'd set up to do it on a stream added another layer for me of like, oh shit. Like I even thought, when I've thought about trying to get a new campaign going, I've thought about being like, maybe we just don't stream it. Like, just go on Fantasy Grounds and play. Because honestly, the additional layer of making it into a live stream was, and doing all the stuff that I do, setting up all the scenes and everything, was like, and that's the thing about me, is I'm not going to not do that stuff if I'm going to stream it. Like, I just have a compulsion of like, oh, I want to set up cool scenes. I want to set up like where their character portraits light up when they're talking and stuff like that. There's all this stuff. I'm like, I think it's really cool. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, right? There was no misunderstanding, just a bunch of excuses. I'm sorry. You homebrew, world map, major cities, major enemies, alliances and enemies, and outline major plot goals. I think, like, because there was a world that I was creating, and one of the reasons I went so far back in history is one of the premises of this world is that there's this like powerful ritual that's lost to time, that as ancient civilizations came into their golden ages and became advanced enough, their mage researchers or their mage academies or whatever it is that like their magical knowledge would evolve. It's a little bit like Fermi's paradox, how that works. Their magical knowledge would evolve to the point where they discovered the possible implications of this ritual and the need for it. Because I think I had it set up like cosmically. There was something in the solar system, like in space, there was some evil presence that was leaking into our reality. And when their like astrologers and astronomers and magicians became advanced enough to be able to detect it, they realized like, oh, like this shit's building up and it's going to hit our world. Like this mass is collecting and it's going to hit our world, and we need to figure out a way to make it go away. And they would inevitably be, through the research, and like come to this conclusion of this really powerful ritual. When the fact is, if they use the ritual, it essentially causes an apocalyptic event to happen, where like an entire nation-sized region, essentially, it becomes like magnets, opposites attracting, where this massive positive energy meant to counter this massive negative energy causes the two to slam together at high velocity. Like if you're gonna like put it in a scientific sense, that was sort of how I conceptualized it. So there's this cycle where every few thousand years, some race would evolve and become like the world dominant race, become super advanced and become aware of this problem and find their way to this ritual that would utterly destroy their civilization, and everything would have to start over. So this campaign world was based on this cycle of like, there's a certain geography around the world where certain regions look like massive craters, like little circular mountain ranges. And the one that had been the most recent where it had happened was a massive wasteland, like just infested with undead. And no one knew why. No one, because it had been thousands of years and that civilization got destroyed, so no one knew why. And so that was the premise, was things were becoming as advanced enough in this campaign world that I was creating that like the cutting edge astrological and magical researchers were on the cusp of like uncovering this old research and learning the implications of this threat and this ritual to prevent this threat. Which, if they just repeated history would just end up destroying civilization again. I remember I'm talking about it now. I'm getting kind of like excited about this premise, but in terms of executing it as a D&D campaign, I was like, I wasn't sure exactly how to turn that into a game. You know, it would just be like a backdrop. So I was like, yeah, I'm spending all this time coming up with this world background, but I never really stopped to think about what would my characters actually be doing. You know, like to get from point A or to get wrapped up in this cosmic plot, right? You consider playing, but you work every day but Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I don't know how that work out. Well, that was the thing too, where like for us, scheduling was an issue, and I think eventually, because I've even like at work too, there are people that they know that I play D&D on a, it's not like frequently, but on a regular like interval. They know ever since like the last 3 years that I've been playing D&D, and there have been people like at my work who want to play D&D and have like asked if I'd be interested in running another game, and I'm always like, maybe. And then I start thinking like that would be another opportunity where we could also gather some people from like that I know from YouTube to flesh out the party. So if this one guy wanted to play, I was like probably find some other people if we're gonna play through Fantasy Grounds just to play remotely. But yeah, that last time it was tough too because the window for scheduling was so tight that there was really only like we would literally only ever be able to play it exactly on like a prearranged Saturday at 5 p.m. And if it couldn't be then, that was it, right? So there was like, not only was it hard to schedule, but it was really rigid in terms of when everybody could be available at the same time. So anyways, yeah, it's just like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. I don't have to worry about. Okay, so once you set up the major, then it's sort of go with the flow. And that's really, honestly, that's what I've found, like, and that's why I like the pre-made games, and I'm kind of enjoying, like, Princes of the Apocalypse, because they're definitely, like, underarching progressions where things are going to go, like how things fit together, but it's also, like, kind of a sandbox, where they just set up, like, yeah, here's the dynamic of how all these cults are situated between each other and the world outside, and here are the different like presences they have and hooks they have around that can draw your character's attention for them to, you know, notice this or that happening, and if they decide to investigate, it will start uncovering this chain of like mysteries. But a lot of it's just left to whoever's running the game to decide how it's going to play out. And that's sort of what I found, that I do enjoy that creative process where a lot of what happens isn't like, oh, because the published adventure says this is supposed to happen. But I'm definitely using it, like, I'm more or less using it as a solid framework. Like, I don't change a lot of stuff that's in the module. It's just, they don't flesh a lot of stuff out, and I do. And then as a result, all the stuff has evolved over the past couple of years that is not in the module at all. Like the one guy's, his sister came looking for him because she was having dreams. This like powerful ranger, and went to the water cult because she's having dreams of water. And when she got in there, apparently things like she was met with some sort of hostility, and she just slaughtered them. And she took the weapon of the prophet of the water cult, and it kind of like has a possessing power, the prophet's weapons. And so when she took the weapon, she bonded with it, and she is now the new prophet of the water temple. And so but she still considers her sister an ally. So when the party got to that point of the adventure to investigate the water cult, they get there, and all the guards are like, there's piles of burning bodies, and they're all acting terrified as hell, and just I don't know. It's just this is storytelling. It's not part of the module, but it's like I had a lot of fun setting that up, like them getting there, because the thing is the sisters saying, the sister saying, I know my sister and her friends are probably going to be looking for me, or they're probably going to be coming here soon. And when they do, I want you to bring them with me, and don't provoke them to fight you, because probably they're going to be very itchy to want to start a slaughter in this place. But if you can get them to talk to me, then I think we can work, try to be diplomatic and work together. And, but meanwhile, she's still like, she's part of this evil cult now. She's a key player in. So anyways, fun times. Let's see. You drew the stuff players will need, like the map, gods, new races, and such, and a basic world story and some key NPCs, and let the story build from there. And I think that's probably really a good way of doing it. Like, and I think a lot of times you get these, like something like Dragonlance, where there's this vast world and all this lore. You get people building these vast campaign worlds, and I think a very viable way of doing that is starting small and like laying down the tracks as needed, and then the world just starts sort of building around the game. And as things get laid down, that becomes the lay of the land. So probably a good way of doing it. Also gives the dungeon master a lot of flexibility in figuring out like fleshing out how the world works and why, and always trying to, in some sense, make sure that the world is serving the player's game and not just there incidentally. Like I think it's arguably better if the player's moving around in the world, that the world is contributing to their story, like their relationship with the world, is what part of what drives the whole story forward. All right. Well, hey, look, Crusader Kings 3, folks. It is actually, now we're officially 1 hour in. So as I said, as I promised, I'm going to unpause for a second. Here we go. I unpaused. All right. My experience writing a bunch of stuff only helps a player occasionally. Most players don't read the lore. Well, my thought of it would be, I'm aware of that. Like, I wouldn't just be like, hey, I made this extensive world history, guys, so before the first session, I want you to read this 50-page historical document that I wrote so you understand the world. It wouldn't be like, that's not what I envision. But it would just be like, for me, that I would know how all this stuff fit together. And like, sort of like the way that I work off of a module or a published adventure in a world like Greyhawk or Forgotten Realms, that there's this framework that I can then set the players loose into, and without knowing how they're going to interact with it completely, right? And letting sort of emerge, like having some ideas about the things that are going on that are going to be the things they're probably going to want to address, but letting their actions sort of dictate where things happen and when. And ideally. But yeah, like even I don't get even with like Forgotten Realms and stuff. Like, I'm not telling my players, well, I didn't do that with you guys either, but with, I'm not like, hey guys, this game's going to be set in the Forgotten Realms. So, like, I think I've said, if you want to look into the Forgotten Realms, like, here's a video list about lore about the Forgotten Realms and stuff. But you don't really need to know that. Like, I'll sort of let you know the things you need to know. The sort of the basic, like, how this world works a little bit. Like, it's not feudalism like a lot of it's, you're not in a kingdom, there's not a king. It's the sword codes, the city states. You lay out like basic, like how this land sort of works, and then but you don't need to go into like the evolution of it over, of the whole world over 10,000 years, right? Just whatever history is relevant to what's happening right in front of you. All right, so I got 9 notifications up here. So before I unpause, too many duchies held. So that's one thing. As you conquer counties, they're de jure duchies. So they're duchies that are sort of the traditional ways that these counties cluster together into larger political units, and then counties cluster together into kingdoms. So what happens is as you're, at first it's just all a whole bunch of counties together, and they're all sort of scattered. But as you get like the majority of the counties in a duchy, you get the option to create the duchy title. And then that becomes another political layer where you can actually be the duke or the duchess, but the counties are run by vassals, but you're still ruling the duchy. And then likewise, the kingdom, if you're in charge of the kingdom, then all the dukes underneath that kingdom are your vassals. They're subservient to you by virtue of you being the king, the top political entity. So when you start a game this early, everything is just individual counties, but there are these larger political. There's this larger political structure that you can sort of build as you start consolidating power. And I did that. I was like, where it says here, I think there's another one. I can create the Duchy of Meath. So that's this right here. And I'm like, well, now I know not to do that because I can only have, I think, 2 duchies. A queen can only have 2 duchies. After that, it'll say you got too many duchies, and your vassals will start to resent you. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna form the duchy because I'm already directly controlling both of the counties within it. And for now, that's the best. Power-wise, that's the best I can hope for. There's no advantage for me to create the duchy unless I'm going to delegate it to vassals. You hate having too many duchies, Maxie. I'm glad you can relate. And Hunty was quiet because he had to get a drink. It's okay. I talked about D&D for a half hour, so you're good. Once I get on a D&D roll, there's only like 3 people in the chat who give a crap anymore. So it's okay if you dip out and have a... Probably that's why you felt like you had to have a drink. You're like, oh, goddamn, he's talking about D&D again. What next? The Silmarillion? Usually you guys only save that for late at night when you don't want me to end the stream. Nobody really wants to hear about the Silmarillion, right, Brad? So, yeah, Max, man, I'm glad you can relate. Too many duchies. So, right now, my vassals' opinions of me, probably should check that. I think I've got them, they're all positive. Who am I schmoozing right now? Right now, I'm schmoozing, my personal scheme is to sway Chiefess Alali, because she was, at the time, I think I fired her for council position. So she briefly had a negative opinion of me. So I've been schmoozing her up. But yeah, so far, I've done a few things that make my followers mad. One is having too many duchies. Another is I increased my tribal authority. Let's see. To high tribal authority. This causes your vassals... It's like you centralizing power. It's like federal versus state rights. The balance of power. As you increase your central authority as the overall ruler, in your favor as opposed to your vassal's favor, it gives you more things that you're allowed to do. It gives you more options of control. Like now, I can revoke somebody's title just because I decided to. Before, I wasn't allowed to do that. It's still not necessarily a great idea to revoke their title because everyone will think it's like a terrible and awful and you shouldn't do that unless you have a very, very, very good reason. But I could do it. And, sometimes you just bite the bullet and be like, yeah, I need that. And all your vassals think you're a creep for a while, and maybe some of them rebel against you because they think you're a tyrant. But you could do it. I think it also increases, like, the amount of... When you go to war, you get them to raise their soldiers in your fights, and you get to increase the amount that they have to contribute to your army. I think it also makes it so they, the more power you have, it just gives you, it just gives you basically more power. It also unlocks, like if I want to get rid of this damn partition succession law, I'm gonna need to have high authority. There's other things that I'll need too, which I also don't have yet. But anyways, but that's just yet another thing. That high tribal authority is another thing that makes them mad. You like the Silmarillion better than hearing my D&D bullshit? That's not very nice, Brad. I thought some people... Does anybody like my D&D stories? Or is it just me... Is it just me stroking my own ego, thinking about what a good story I told with my other friends last week or whatever? All right. You do. Nick likes it, Brad. All right. Well, that's enough for me. You like them fine. If it weren't for my history of betrayal... Okay, Brad, that's fair. I'm not gonna... I know. Okay, that's fair. Point granted. Hunty, you like the D&D stories? Helps you understand the game a little better? Well, especially if you've played it a little bit. Like, you said you played and it wasn't at all like the stuff I'm talking about, but I think it takes a while to build up to that. And like a basic game of Dungeons and Dragons can literally just be, here's your characters on a map, or not even on a map. Here, it's just like have it be turn-based combat, and the person running the game gives you just a little bit of context. Like I was in a campaign like that once. The guy actually had good storytelling, but the way that the game was struck, that was the one where there were 9 players, so you couldn't really meaningfully participate in the story. Most of the players couldn't. And so there would be like an overall story, maybe 1 or 2 sort of main characters in the party that would act or speak to like whoever it was, the mayor of the town or whatever. And then there would be some sort of a combat plan. And then we'd spend 2 hours just fighting 20 goblins that ambushed us on the road on the way to the next town or whatever. And that would be like every game session was basically that. You prefer the Dead by Daylight stories, Maxie? Yeah, shit. Your session was a one-shot to help new players get familiar with the system. The DM was good. It just ended badly. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Ended badly in the sense where, like, the players died, or the people who were playing it made it a bad experience, and someone rage quit and flipped the table over. I don't know. It ended badly can mean different things. But yeah, one-shots inherently, like, if you just want to learn what it's like to play D&D, like how if you're going to hit something with a sword or cast a spell, I mean, there's a lot of mechanics to how D&D works as just a game. How the rules work. How character classes work. How the spells and abilities work. All, how monsters work. All that stuff. How the combat works. So I think for a lot of, especially if it's like, just to introduce people to the game, it can very much lean towards just a very, like, not complex. They're not going to have some, like, be baking up some vast story arc or whatever. This complex story with all these moving parts. So, like, no, it's just this, something that's supposed to last for 3 hours. People get to have a little bit of experience of what it's like to play Dungeons and Dragons, and then you're done, right? So, which can be fun too. I mean, there are people that have played those massive type campaigns with the intricate stories, and then their dungeon master or someone else in their group, just for like a palate cleanser, they'll decide 1 week we're just going to do this one shot. Sometimes they'll make it like a weird, goofy theme or whatever else. Nick, was it you talking about doing that? Just stuff like it's April Fool's Day, so there's going to be like a goofy, like an army of jesters invading, you have to defend the king against an army of jesters or some weird shit. And it's just supposed to be like, you play this one little story setup for a few hours, and then you never play it again. So the players were the bad experience. Oh shit, all of them were your bullies from school? And you were the, oh god, I'm sorry, you were the instant targeted for their ire. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, that sucks then. You know, it's funny you should mention that though, because talking more about D&D. But the arch villain that I mentioned, that's been the villain that keeps popping up that never seems to die, always shows up later in the story. And hey, Jeff, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. That villain was actually my elementary school bully. By the time we got to like middle school, was super nice to me. Like we sort of became on friendly terms. And it's the point where I don't even know if in like 3rd, 4th grade when he was mean to me, if he really even meant to be mean to me. I think he thought he might have just been screwing around, but it took the form of like, well, I felt like being tormented, right? But I'm almost in the impression that he never really thought there was any problem between us. But anyways, so in middle school, he found out that I had started playing D&D, and he's like, oh, I love D&D. And he found out I had the Temple of Elemental Evil. And he's like, oh, that's my favorite. I love that. But he's like one of these guys, his way of playing a game was, like, instead of being like, okay, I go to the mayor and ask what rumors are, what they need help with or whatever. His was more like, you get on the edge of town. He's like, okay, what's the first thing I see? Oh, you see a farmhouse. Okay, I kill the farmer. I kill his wife. Does he have any kids? Like, yeah, there's a kid playing in the back. I kill the kid. And like, and of course, in OG D&D, you got experience points for all that stuff. And so he's just like killing everybody, looting, like looking under their mattresses, getting, oh, look, he has 5 silver pieces. Whoop, that's going on my treasure pile. It was just like a murder hobo video game for this guy. And so that was not really my play style. So we played one time, and you know, I was always on good terms with him about that, but I always remembered, like, he was in elementary school like the main villain of my life for a couple years. And it's weird to think that maybe he never realized or intended to be that, but to me, that's what he was. And so he made this super evil, I'm going to kill everybody character. It was a dark elf fighter mage. And it was a super evil character. And so when I started playing with later, I met what became my high school group like a year or two later. And I decided, I took the character sheet that my elementary school bully made, that we played this one game. The guy's name was Bahn. B-A-H-N. And I was like, oh, this would make a good villain for my Temple of Elemental Evil campaign. So I kept having, and like dark elves, they can't be in daylight. So if they're not, you know, so they're basically, this dude is, they just noticed he's been following them, spying on them as they've been traveling around, like on their way to investigate the area around the adventure of the Temple of Elemental Evil. He's spy, like, and so they notice this dark hooded figure who always tries to stay out of the light. They'll get to the next town and they'll realize, hey, that guy sitting in the corner of the inn, isn't that the same guy that we saw as we were coming up the barge up the river? Wasn't he that same guy? Wasn't he in the tavern in 2 towns ago? That like, and they're like, yeah, like dude's creepy or whatever. And then it built from there. Like obviously, as we played that campaign for years, and as it built, he became like their arch nemesis, right? So, but it all started with, that was a character created by the guy who was my elementary school bully tormentor. And I'm still, as of last weekend, they're still fighting that guy. I'm turning 50 this year. I'm still whipping that guy's character out. I mean, it's not the same character sheet. I've adapted him, and he's a lot different now because he's died like 10 times. So he's just like arch undead lord or something now when he shows up. But yeah, no. Elementary school bully. Still making ongoing appearances 40 years later in my D&D games. All right. Oh, so yeah, what are we doing? Playing games now? Vassals want council positions. Sorry, none of them are any good. Sorry, Alalie wants one. She's just not. Well, hold on, let's see what we get at. No, I mean she could be the chancellor with a diplomacy skill of 14, but this guy's got 18. It just doesn't make sense. He's living rent free in my head. Honestly, though, like, I actually my memories of that guy overall are friendly, and like I almost find it almost amusing, like how nice he was to me as we're going. And this is going all the way to like after we graduated from high school, and I remember like I was a couple years into college, and I would go to Del Mar, which is like a coastal town in San Diego. And I remember, it turns out he worked at a restaurant, like an upscale restaurant. He was like a server or something. And I was walking around Del Mar and I'd hear like, "Hey, Ryan." And I'd turn around and be him. And he'd be like, so happy to see me. He's like, "Oh man, it's so good to see you. How are you?" And like super nice. And really, honestly, from middle school on, he was always nice to me. Like there was never like a weird or double-edged, like he was being nice, but he was being nice ironically. He was always just, maybe he did realize he was shitty to me and was like, "Oh, well, I didn't know I was being that bad." I don't know, but he always was still nice. And we're still friends on Facebook. Like occasionally he'll still, like I'll post something and he'll be like, "Oh, where were you camping? What was that like?" Or he'll be like, "Oh, what kind of board games do you recommend?" And then see you're into board games. Like you're still, we don't talk all the time, but he's still like, will show up every now and then and just express interest in the things that I'm interested in, which is just, it's just sort of cool. So he's not living rent free to my head in the sense of like, I'm still upset over it or anything. I just think it's really funny how this character evolved. That it was like, and he was one bitch of a D&D character though. The way he played this guy, like that was some. It's like, nah, I don't think I want to play a game where that's how my player characters are. They're just like killing everybody. I've heard games where people run, because it's it's sort of like whatever the people who are playing will agree to. That can happen in that game. And so they're like, in the D&D community, there's this need now where there's advice for D&Ds to set ground rules about how far things can take it. Like that game, can the game feature sexual assault? And most people aren't comfortable with that. So it just can't be part of the game. Even if you have a bad villain, you're not going to have the villain, like one of the bad things he did, why you're not supposed to like him is because he raped people. Because it's just not a story element people want. And then there are games that I know that I've heard, I've never been in those games, but I've talked to people who've been in games like this where their characters they're doing an evil campaign. Their characters are evil and their characters are role-playing, doing stuff like raping innocent people. And I'm like, holy shit, that's fucked up. Like, I just can't, I know it's all make-believe, but like I could not be part of a game where people are role-playing, doing those things, and that's like they're having fun doing that. Like I feel like not just being evil is one thing. It's okay if you're going to play an evil character and like, I'm going to go, because as a dungeon master, you're doing that all the time. But if everyone's playing these like really twisted, like, and that's what the whole focus of the game is, it's like, Anyway, hey, it's Keith. How you doing? Animal Lawyer 788. What's Facebook? It's something that boomers use, Oh, just so your cousin was the dungeon master, and he was angry when he learned his other players were bullies. So wait, your cousin set up this game and didn't know that everyone else he invited were like your historic bullies, that people that were terrible to you? I'm sorry, this was such a weird... I'm sorry that happened to you. So when I said I'm sorry, the continuation of the thought is I'm sorry that happened to you. That's terrible. But I'm glad at least, like, once he learned about it, he was like, oh, crap, like, it's not like he set you up or something. There's being evil, but then there's being a monster. Right. I mean, I play Dead by Daylight, right? And I like playing the killer sometimes because it's fun running around. Oh, I'm Freddy Krueger and I'm going to get you. More likely, I'm not getting them and they're teabagging me, but still, the principle is there that I'm playing the monster trying to get these people. I'm bad. I'm a bad guy, you know? The character is evil. On Saturday is evil mostly because she ignores people that can't accomplish her goals. Like, yeah, there can be types of evil that are not stomach churning, right? That are not stomach churning to either role play or to just have to have in front of your face all the time. Because that's the thing is, I tend to, like, you guys got this before we played D&D, and I did the same thing with my other group. I said, you can have, your characters don't all have to be goody two-shoes, but they need to be good compatible. Like, I don't want secretly one person to be like the arch evil dude that wants to kill the world or something. Which there's we grew up doing Dragonlance, and there are characters like that in Dragonlance. Very iconic characters like that in Dragonlance. That I think in high school, one of my players who we were playing with now wanted to sort of emulate being, I'm the mysterious mage whose only interest is power, and has no loyalties to anyone. And it's like, but then they're constantly like, well, why would my character want to help this woman who's in trouble? What all the stuff that you're designing the world for your characters to react to have some interest in doing, that they're more interested in, like, whatever it is, they're gonna, like my friend who wanted to just kill all the farmers and the farmers' wives and the kids and everything else. It's like, I'm not having fun, like, that being the whole world. I could have the archvillain in the story takes an army in and slaughters a whole village as something that happened in the story, but I don't want to spend the entire campaign that's what we're role-playing, is just doing things like that. But yeah, too much focus on that. And then you can play evil people you can play an evil character that is still good compatible, and that the way that they're evil, like, you could work with someone at a grocery store that if they were a D&D character, their alignment might be evil. But it's because they're selfish and self-interested or whatever, but they're still, like, they go to work every day. That the way that they're evil doesn't prevent you from being around them. It's just like you get too close a look at their values or what they're doing in their personal life. You go, oh shit, maybe I'm gonna keep some distance from that guy. Maybe not gonna, like, let my sister date that guy. He didn't know that, and you didn't talk to him about your school life. That's fair. So it's just like it almost sounds like a sitcom. Right now, they're like, well, little did he know that all the characters in the party were her tormentors from school. If Bond wasn't going to kill the farmers, Monsanto certainly would. All right, that's a fair point, Brad. Maybe the farmers should have joined a union. Your character is a ghost, and the campaign cult is behind your death, so you want to kill them all no matter their rank in the cult. All right, and so you have a motivation that maybe, like the rest of the party, it's a bad cult, and they want to, the rest of them are doing it because the world needs to be rid of these evil happenings, and you're doing it because those people screwed you, and you want them to suffer. And your motivations are evil, but it so happens what you're directing your ire at aligns with the greater good. So that's an example of a way that you can have a good compatible character. that's not a good character. Being the DM for your bullies would be a great way to get revenge. Yeah, but how fun is that game though? Like, because the people in your game, all you're doing is fucking with them, and they're not having fun. I guess you briefly will be having fun, but all you're going to be doing is like, yeah, I know you just say as an idea, like, oh yeah, being like you have complete power over your bullies, completely fuck with them and stuff. It's like, yeah, you're true. I'll grant you that point. I will grant you that point. So I get too realistic about it. Like, oh no, that would be a terrible idea to do that because of X, Y, and Z. Like, whatever. I gotta not be so literal all the time. You're not good enough to be a DM? Well, yeah, you could be, but yeah, you probably, I mean, I think most people, if they can learn the game and get experience with the game, could eventually be a DM, because it's, at a basic level, it's just about learning how the rules work. But and then acting as like kind of a referee. Doesn't mean you'd be a good DM, but yeah, when you first play one game, you're not ready necessarily to be a DM. I mean, you still could. They're DMs. Like 4 or 5 people will get together and be like, let's play D&D. None of them have ever played before. And then they're like, okay, well, who's going to be the dungeon master? And then one of them decides, and they all learn the rules together, and the dungeon master learns 3 times as many rules, and either has to read a thick book. You know, there's a lot of extra work being the dungeon master. But yeah, I shouldn't say you couldn't do it, but it's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work to get there, to get started. Make them have an encounter with a dragon to scare them. No, the thing that you do as a DM to screw with your players is stuff that's really going to get under their skin. So, like, one of the biggest things you can do is characters, they love getting more powerful, they love getting wealth, they love getting magic items. So you let them play a little bit, they gain a level, they gain some extra powers. So one of them gets this like awesome sword, another one gets this awesome suit of armor, another one gets a ring that can make them fly. And then I think the thing that I did that was the worst to my characters, it was something that was not my idea. It was something in an adventure module they had a villain do. But I remember, like, in retrospect, it was one of the most sadistic things you can do to a group. Is they sort of get railroaded into a situation, like they're on a ship traveling from one city to another, and the ship gets attacked by a very strongly manned pirate fleet. Attacks them, and the head of the pirate fleet captures everybody, ties them up, and then takes all of their belongings, dumps them out on the deck in front of the characters, who are all tied up, they can't get away, and picks up their items one by one and says, what is this? What does this sword do? And whatever they do, whether they say it does this, or they go F yourself, whatever, this evil captain would just, or admiral, whoever he was, would just go, oh, it's garbage. And he'd throw it overboard. And so one by one, all of their prized possessions get thrown overboard. And that's more than, oh, you're going to make them fight a dragon. That's the kind of crap where you take the thing, like, you really want to mess with their heads. And I'm not recommending doing this, but that's how you make them have a bad time. Now, what I did, because I'm not a complete dick, and this is kind of dumb, is I did make it so that they weren't actually, like, they had it set up before they did any of that there was like a net rigged alongside the ship that was catching all this stuff. And when they finally escaped, from the ship and they finally got back to the nearest town sometime later, and they get into this town and they're there for a few days, like, recovering or whatever, and they hear a rumor of some kid in the town square hawking off all of their shit that got thrown overboard. So they come, and there's this little, like, a 12-year-old kid going, step right up, magic sword, super cheap, you know, whatever it is, magic ring can make you fly, 10 gold pieces. And so that just became like a thing for them. So I didn't. They still had to go through the experience of watching this dude throw everything. And man, for years they were mad about, and those ships had purple sails. And that was the thing, is like all I had to say, it could be years later, and all I had to say was purple sails. And you could see some of them starting to get pissed off, like, oh, let's go fucking get them. The most hilarious story you heard was that a friend put a ring on without identifying it. And all of a sudden his character was naked. Yeah, that sort of thing could happen. And then I think I had one once that it caused constant and uncontrollable flatulence. I mean, really, the person running the game can make up any kind of weird magic item that they can think of if they want to. They don't have to stick to like, well, where's the farting ring in the Dungeon Master's Guide? It has a list of the treasures available in the game, and there is no farting ring. I looked on Google. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. The Dungeon Master can make the farting ring, and if you want to put it, you don't know what it is, and you're like, well, I'm just going to try it on, see what it does. Surprise! You're going to have to find some powerful priest to remove the curse, or else you just... And so every time, it's like, oh man, I'm going to go into the temple and see if we can find a priest to remove it. Ripping farts echoing throughout the cathedral. They're refusing you at the door. You're disrespecting our deity. Get out. It's like, I'm cursed. I need to get out with your smelly farts. Whatever. Fun times, right? Your friend was playing a male drow and he wished to be more respected in drow society. So the genie made him a female. That's fair. Wasn't there... I think there was a ring in the original Neverwinter Nights that if you put it on, it changed your gender to someone else. I remember... that was back... I didn't have a computer that could run Neverwinter Nights. This is when I was playing that one D&D game where there were 9 players. And a few of them had gotten Neverwinter Nights, and they were talking about it. I remember them talking about this ring where, yeah, I didn't know what it did, and I put it on, and it turned my guy into a woman. And I couldn't change it back. And I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool that there's items like that will just, whatever. I thought it was a neat idea. It might ruin your character concept if you didn't want your character to be of the opposite gender, but, Yeah, Neverwinter Nights is like a famous Dungeons & Dragons... the famous Dungeons & Dragons video game series. And there's an MMO called Neverwinter. And if you play in the Forgotten Realms, one of the major cities is called Neverwinter. In fact, Neverwinter was a major city in the region where the game that I ran was. And both the campaigns with my friends and the campaigns that I was playing with Brad, Nick, and Ethan started in Neverwinter as that's where the story began. So Neverwinter is a very big name that comes up a lot in the world of D&D. And Chris Plays Games, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, the MMO was free to play, so a ton of people played it. By all accounts, it's a pretty decent game for a free to play. It just has some of those free to play things that free to play games do. But I've heard a lot of good things about it. I played it a little bit myself. I thought it seemed pretty good. I just never really got into it enough to keep playing it. Oh, this week was full from... Were you in Canada this week? I got friends, one of my friends in my D&D group is in New Jersey, and he was sharing pictures of outside of his work. It's just it looks like Mordor out there. New York City, okay. Yeah, it's no joke. That's what they're saying. I haven't heard this yet. Have you heard this, Chris? There was a little exchange among my friends earlier where apparently there are people that think that the fire or the smoke hazard is like a liberal hoax. And they're saying, don't worry. Or maybe conservative news outlets are telling people this fear about the air quality in these smoked out regions is just like a liberal hoax. And don't worry about it. Take your kids outside. And my friend said that he had somebody ask him, like, say that they thought it was a hoax and ask him, have you actually seen the fires? And he was like, I know. Checkmate. I guess you got me, huh? So, but no, it's just astounding how you can take something as undeniable as like massive fires that are making whole regions of the country's skies dark with smoke, and it's somehow it can be spun so that a bunch of people who aren't seeing the flames themselves with their eyes are convinced that it's not real. Anyways, just I don't want to get political, but still, like, what? WTF, that's all. That's all. Where there's smoke, there's liberal hoax. They're obviously from the fires. It smells like a goddamn campfire outside. Yeah, but like I'm here in, certain parts of the country, they don't see the smoke or smell it. They just have your word to take for it. And all that stuff that they're seeing on the news, it's fake. It's all a big what is it? A red flag operation? Is it called red flag operation? I can't remember. Something false flag operation. False flag. Making fun of idiots, not political. Yeah, but when the certain trends that you're making fun of all seem to fall on one side of the political spectrum, it starts becoming touchy. It starts becoming touchy to like focus on that. Like in my declared no, hey, Brad Pritchard is now playing Honey, I Joined a Cult. You have to let us know what you think, Brad. Do you have a brain? You can't see it. I don't know. Maybe they're right, though. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen fire. I just know that my liberal friend from New Jersey posted a picture in our chat. So he could have been using like a filter. Oh, it's been running in the background and you're trying to stream? Yeah, I don't know. It just said maybe you had it minimized or something, or you were on another window and you jumped over to it. I don't understand how that works, because I know a lot of times someone will start playing a game and then it'll notify me like 4 times over the next 2 minutes that they've started playing that game. Unless they're Joss. If they're Joss, they start playing a game and then they also start playing RuneScape. And then it says they're playing whatever the other game is, and then they're playing RuneScape. It keeps telling me to, like, vacillating between the RuneScape and the other game. It's genuinely hard to take a picture of orange skies, because like the cameras don't want to take pictures that are entirely sepia. So, well, the thing that like my friend's picture was actually able to demonstrate were that the buildings across the street were somewhat hazed by smoke. Like you could see that it was not just the background was the color of what things look like when there's smoke, but like literally the smoke was thick enough that stuff that was like down the next block was visibly, like you could see the presence of the smoke there. No more Steam launcher RuneScape for you, so bye to those notifications. Yeah, it has. There's Joss, of course, he's right there. It has been a while, but I know that was something I just got used to seeing for a while. Is like you'd play, and I know that's like a grindy game where like you're collecting resources. You pretty much just set your guy to start like mining, and then you can just go do something else, right? That's sort of how it ends up. Like I bet like a half, or probably more than half of the people playing that game are doing the same thing. They're like, oh, today's going to be about like gathering like metal ores or whatever. So, yeah, literally mining and RuneScape right now. Okay, yeah, there you go. Hey, Josh, were you here earlier when I played that music? I was a little worried because it wasn't Bowie, but it sounded like Bowie. I was like, boy, I bet if Josh were here, he just took off. But it wasn't Bowie. That was the case for most of the last couple of days. Okay. Should I play some of this game that I've been sitting... Like, literally, I launched the game an hour ago, and I've had it unpaused for a total of 2 seconds. Oh, yeah, I played the, if you're a Rick and Morty fan, there's like a techno version of a song from one of the episodes called Goodbye Moon Men. And it's very reminiscent of the Major Tom Space Oddity song by Bowie. So I played that a little bit. I was like, well, anyone who hates Bowie, probably not going to like this. 45 seconds. Do I have the... Oh, I don't have the thing to make it happen automatically. Let me see. I have to do it automatically. I have to pause it. Then I come over here. Now I can make it happen.
45 seconds of gameplay.
It's still there. Okay, so you like those. I just remember that one night I got when I was playing Project Zomboid, and somehow I got into this Bowie kick, and I just played Bowie games or Bowie songs on stream for a half hour. And I just remember you were like, nah, I'm out of here. So I guess at that point I was just like, I guess Joss hates Bowie. Do you know that song I'm talking about then? The techno version of Goodbye Moon Men? By something Tombstone something? It's by... Anyways. I've thought of it earlier because I bought a video game that has music by the same band that did the techno version of Goodbye Moon Men. So, you're making me very tempted to play a short excerpt of Goodbye Moon Men again then. You're like, oh, you haven't heard of it, huh? But you like the Goodbye Moon Men song. Uh-oh. Alright, now... The Living Tombstone. Yeah, that's it. Hey, dang, Evie, you remember? Or did you already know who they were? Or now I've got to play some of it. Yeah, right after I do the 45 seconds of gameplay. Now I'm doing this shit. Oh, you knew who they were, okay.
The worlds can be one together. Cosmos without hatred. Stars like
This good stuff. Goodness, shit.
in your eyes. The ground can be space.
It sounds so good in these headphones too. I don't know.
Marching towards a peaceful sky.
Get another 30 seconds.
All the moon men want things their way, but we make sure they see the sun.
Here it is. Goodbye, Moon Men.
Goodbye, moon men. We say goodbye, moon men.
This is Goodbye Moon Men by The Living Tombstone. Is the band. Is it Hanson? No, it's The Living Tombstone. And Goodbye Moon Men is a song from a Rick and Morty episode. It's basically the original song sounds a little bit like... I can play an excerpt for that for anyone who doesn't know the original song too. It sounds like a Bowie song, which is why I initially liked it. And then eventually I was like, I bet people have covered this song. Like, this would be a perfect song to do like a metal remix and a whatever. And that's how I looked up remixes and I found this one.
You are not like other cars. Stars like other cars. The world can be one together. Cosmos without hatred. Stars like diamonds in your eyes. The ground can be space, space, space.
Well, it's farcical, but it's like
With feet marching towards a peaceful sky.
it's got definite, like they're echoing Bowie.
Men want things their way, but we make sure they see the sun. Goodbye, moon man. You say goodbye, moon man. Goodbye, moon man. Goodbye, moon man. Oh, goodbye.
All this cosmic space sounds.
Cosmos without hatred, diamond stars of cosmic light, quasars shine through endless night.
All right, well that's enough. You get the idea. I don't need to play the whole every song. But yeah, that's one of your favorite Rick and Morty scenes. Well, I think I liked that episode. I haven't watched all of Rick and Morty, but I've watched like the first couple of seasons, like last year, I think. But that song, because to me it resonated Bowie, and particularly to me it resonates Space Oddity. It just is really catchy. It's like an earworm. When I heard it, that song just will periodically would just get stuck in my head, and in a good way. I never minded it being in my head. And so when I work, if I'm not doing when I'm not doing meetings, I have like this ever evolving playlist through Amazon Music, and I keep things that I think to look for, or things that get recommended based on things I've been looking for. I've been discovering a lot of music that I never heard of any of them before, and it all snowballs together. So I put together like a playlist of, at this point it's about 30 songs. And I let it run, and then I let it like auto select songs while I'm working after that based on like what it thinks I'll like, and then I'll find new songs. But Goodbye Moon Man was one of the songs that I specifically sought out, and I added on that list. So when I work, during almost every work shift, at some point, at least once, I'm hearing that version of Goodbye Moon Man, the techno version. It's part of my work day. All right. Now, should I play the game now? But yeah, no, that song, and I was saying too that techno version, I usually don't I never have these on when I'm working, and I mostly listen to music when I'm working. And I'll listen to it on my speakers for my PC, and my speakers, they're not like high-end $1,000 speakers, but they sound pretty reasonably good. They're not like $10 speakers. And so like I've heard that song a bunch of times, reasonably good. But that whole like the techno, like the heavy beat and everything on something like these with these have really good sound, really good clear bassy sound. And that song with these headphones is like, oh wow, this is a new experience. It's good. So that's another thing that's happened a couple times now during the stream, where like I'll play that song and just be all of a sudden like, none of you want to see a 50-year-old guy listening to techno version of Goodbye Moon Man going doing like the Whitey dance, right? Gotta tuck that. All right, I'm gonna stop now. Somebody's gonna clip that shit. It's gonna go viral. with ketamine? What? Like a dude have like a whole like rave experience? All right. Am I ever okay? So I guess what this means, like my old enemy, the Isles, is gone now. They got overthrown by somebody else, and I just taken this Dublin over, and I was in a 5-year truce with the Isles, but now they've been overthrown. Who the hell are these people that took over? It's a Jarl. $163. Oh, their armies are like super depleted. Of Subrid, where the hell did this nation even come from? Like, is this a nation that spawned out of a rebellion? I'm just curious to see if there's any traditional duchy. Okay, so yeah, it was oh, I guess this was the traditional duchy. So was the Isles the thing that doesn't normally exist? Because forever it was the Isles. Let me see. Empire titles, Britannia. I was thinking you get big enough. So, and by the way, yes, you're seeing now the hierarchy. There's the duchies, or the counties, which are this sort of basic unit. Counties are collected into duchies. Duchies are collected into kingdoms. And kingdoms are collected into empires. So there's always, that's one of the progressions of this game, is there's always the next level up of, like, as you're consolidating power, become a stronger and stronger entity. But it all starts very, very segmented. And then kingdoms, empires. Everything except for the Byzantine Empire. Well, you get, oh no, I guess that is, there's kingdoms inside the Byzantine Empire. That totally makes sense, but, or at least kingdom level political entities. But they were already the Byzantine Empire from the beginning. They didn't have to consolidate a bunch of duchies. They're cheaters. They're just the extension of Rome. All right. So I bring this all up in the context of like not knowing who these people were. My main interest is, since I have gotten to the point where I have created a title and enough influence to declare myself the king, or in this case, actually, it's EV23, the High Queen of Ireland, that I just would very much like Ireland to just be mine. Like, to not have some other ruler or a foreign ruler have a chunk of what is supposed to be the Kingdom of Ireland. Right? You agree, Evie? Don't you think if you were the High Queen of Ireland and there was this duke, this duchy from over here, it's just like got right in the middle of your shit. It's just like, hey, I'm just going to have this castle over here. Now, she is the Queen of Ireland. There's this person's in here not respecting her authority. You know? Give Evie all the land. All right, you heard it from Evie. Evie, real Evie agrees that fake Evie, High Queen Evie, should have, as Queen of Ireland, High Queen of Ireland, should have control of all of Ireland. Makes sense, right? So that's sort of been like the objective since I've been playing this game. Because when you start, I think she just had a couple of the provinces here. And then, we've slowly been expanding since I started this game. to where now it's like finally Ireland is like almost in her grasp. So I might go for it. The only reason I wouldn't is because I've been expanding a lot, and I really haven't given county control. Let's see. Yeah, all this red and brown, all this like red and orangish red. These are all areas that I have conquered that are borderline lawless because I have not. It takes time to establish order after you conquer a land. And I've conquered a bunch of land. So there can be consequences to conquering too much land without having kind of like sorted and settled out the land that you've already conquered. It can lead to rebellions and stuff like that. But it's just one more. It's one more province. All right, let's see what their political power is. The peasants can fuck you up if enough of them get together. Is the problem. I've actually had a couple of peasant uprisings, and it's been small enough that I've been able to put them down. It's happened twice now. But if the uprising is big enough, I know in past games I've had peasants are like threatening to have an uprising, and I'm like, what are they gonna do? And they end up assembling this fuck-ton huge army and just kicking the shit out of me. That's happened to me before. So you can usually manage it. Also, if they come at you at the wrong time, if you're at war with someone else and that's when they strike, like, they can be powerful enough to really screw you up. But let's see. So this would be Crusader, whatever it is. I can declare war against the Jarl Malformerer Archmurder of the Surger. We need to get rid of them just because, if only because I don't want to have to try to pronounce their shit. All right. Now this shows she's got 163 soldiers. Her army, she probably literally just finished fighting the war to take control of this land that was previously the High Chieftain of the Isles. And the Isles no longer exists. So they probably just overthrew the Isles to claim it as what apparently is the ancestral or the traditional what this place should have been. It should never have been the Isles. So they probably had justification for their war. But this is a recent change. And if they only have 163 troops out of, I wonder how much they're supposed to have. No allies and 163 troops. The levies, even at their full strength, let's see, 37, there's about 550 there, 80 there, 80 there, 550, 700. So at their full strength, they've got, I think, a little bit over 700 troops. I don't know how they overthrew the other. Maybe they overthrew the other person because I just finished kicking their ass to get Dublin back. Then they made their move and got them when they were weak. Are they in war right now? Oh no, we don't want that. Who the hell is this? Okay, so they're about to get their ass kicked. That's why their troops are down. Someone's attacking them right now. It's never a good idea to be attacking someone else at the same time. What have they got? 942. And they're allied to someone with 313. I'm starting to think maybe I still do make the move. Because, like, the people I want to conquer and the people they're in a war with put together, are not strong enough to keep me from steamrolling. I don't think. I'm going to try it. Or do I let the war conclude? That war looks like it's almost over. Yeah, this war is almost over. You know what? I think what I want to do is I'm going to let time pass until this war concludes. And then the second it ends, I'm going to raise my banners. I'm going to raise my armies. And because one thing that could happen is, and this happened to me before, I'll declare war on the person that's getting their ass kicked. And then in the middle of it, they get captured or otherwise killed or dethroned or something. And all of a sudden, my war is over. Because the political leader that I declare war against is no longer the political leader. So, and it totally like, my whole war just stopped being a thing. And I had to like disband my armies. There's nothing worse than being a warmonger and not being able to continue your thing. No, there's no buying land. There's no buying land in this game that I'm aware of. It's all very old school. I mean, at this point, we're tribal, so it's sort of like whatever you can conquer, you can have. As you move into the Middle Ages further, things switch to feudalism, and once you have like feudal governments, you're actually not allowed to just attack someone unless you have a valid claim, unless you can say that you have a legal claim to their land, in which case you still have to fight them for it, but you need to have the legal claim in order to even declare the war to do that in the first place. There are some exceptions. Things will come up, like at a certain point, I had conquered enough of an area where the lord in that area offered to be my vassal. And so I was just like, oh, okay. And now this guy here, I never fought him. But when I took over other parts of his area, and I also was declared the Queen of Ireland, they were just like, oh, well, I'd be the proper subject of the Queen of Ireland. So do you want me to be your vassal? I was like, yeah. So, yeah, that worked out. No bloodshed there. But it was all sort of based on those, like the political hierarchy is how that happened. Like political rights, political entitlements. So, and Lady Wendy, did I say hi? You know, sometimes I have a hard time seeing so good. I can't tell when you're here, Lady Mindy. Well, no, getting claims is pretty easy. Like, you can have your, I think is it your, no, I think right now it's your priest, your archbishop, one of your council members. One of the things that you can have them do, like by default, he is building religious relations, which is giving you extra piety points, and increasing your standing in the religion. But you can choose to have them fabricate a claim on a county. And usually, if you have them do that, it will happen. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take. Usually, I think it only, I don't know, takes 6 months to a year, maybe. I don't know how long it takes. Could take a couple years. But it's not like a super, in the course of a ruler's lifetime, it's not like a super long period of time. It can happen relatively quickly. The thing is, you know, you can only do one at a time. And you couldn't, for example, if I was like, hey, look, Sweden, I'm going to take Sweden. I don't think you can fabricate a claim to be like king of Sweden. You can only fabricate, am I right, Brad? I think I'm right on this point. You can only fabricate claims for like at the smallest unit, which is the county level, right? So I couldn't somehow be like, let me see, I'll just do it. Fabricate. Claim on county. That's all you can do is fabricate a claim on county. So it's not like in Civilization where you're like, or a lot of other strategy games where you're like, I'm going to go to war against France. And then if you occupy all of the French territories, you're like, France is mine now. If you go to war against France, it'll be like, you're declaring war over the disputed title for, you know, this, for Boulogne. just the county of Boulogne, that you have this title that you fabricated claim on, or maybe you've claimed it legitimately. You have blood that's married into that bloodline, and you have some sort of actual blood claim that you can plausibly say you're entitled to it, and for some reason. If you can justify doing the attack, then in order to get it, you've got to go to war against France to take it away from them. And you may have your entire kingdom going against their entire kingdom. They're bringing their allies in. You're bringing your allies in. You're fighting a war between kingdoms. And if you win, you grind down however that war could take years. If you win, the only thing you get if you win is Boulogne. Because that's the whole war, was just to get that. So what claims you have limits what you can take. Like, it limits what you can go to war over and what you'll get when you win that war. Or in a traditional strategy game, it's like, yeah, I took over this, that belongs to me now. I took over this, that belongs to me now. And you go along, you just basically, you take it over, it's yours. The paradox, and I think Crusader Kings, the next game is Europa Universalis 4, in their sort of chronology, their collection of games that covers the next time period from the 1440s up until the 1800s. And I think they still have that same system in place. Although I'm not sure if it's on the same, like, county by county scope. I don't know if it's that restricted, but you need Casabellas. I think it's the same. You can only conquer, you can't just be like, I'm going to attack France, but you can carve out little claims for yourself at a time. All right. So I keep getting sidetracked, but this is what we're going to do. We are going to keep an eye on their war. I'm going to let time progress. The only thing I'm really paying attention to is going to war, seeing what happens with this war. All right, but now I'm not seeing my notifications. My scheme to sway Chiefess Alali was successful. She now has a higher opinion of me. It's now 58. Let's see. Let's check a few things here. First off, how much does the Pope like me? Pope still likes me pretty good. I realize the Pope is like, if the Pope likes you enough, every few years you can just ask the Pope for money, and all it costs is 20. It costs 20 opinion. So the Pope's opinion of me was like 80. And it's like, hey, the Pope will give you 100 gold. And all you have to do is pay 20 of his, like, his opinion will drop by 20. And then you just sway him and it goes back up again. So I've learned that being friends with the Pope, being on good terms with the Pope is lucrative. Literally. Right now I can ask him for gold. Oh shit, I'm going to do it. I didn't even realize. So I have to spend 250 piety, which is a resource you collect over time. But I got piety coming out of my ass. Even though Evie's secretly a witch. Don't tell anyone. If that came out, the Pope would not be pleased. But yeah, so 250 out of my 2,080 piety. And then the Pope, has a plus 66 opinion of me, loses 20. So the Pope will be like, oh, they borrowed money. I guess it's not a good look. It's like, oh shit, I thought EV23 liked me, but I think EV23 only wants the favors, whatever. His opinion goes down. But I get 151 gold, which is good. It's worth it. But maybe it's time to start schmoozing the Pope again, even though he's terrifically old. He's 80. I don't even know how he's still alive. In fact, his name is Pope Sergius III, Pope Sergius III the Frail. Do I even bother? Like, but what if this dude lives to be 100? Son of a bitch. Okay, I'm going to sway him. Here you go, Pope. He's probably going to be dead before I even rebuild the relationship. But I've been saying that for 12 years. Like, ever since he hit 70, I'm like, oh, that dude's about to die. It's 10 years later. He's still poping. He's still giving me money. Oh, doing pet portraits for hire. Holy crap, that sounds cool. Let's see. To the Serene High Queen EV23 of Ireland. I have considered your plight and decided to grant your request. May these funds help you spread the true faith in your land. Signed, Pope Sergius of the Papacy. Praise Saint Comslele. Here comes the tax refund. All right, here we go. We got that money. We got that sweet clinky clinky. Yeah, do it. Do it, Lady Wendy. Post it in Discord. All right, construction negotiations. Building costs are negative 5%. That's actually, this point in our development is completely useless because we don't have the city planning skills or technologies to actually build anything at this point. So it's like getting a discount on building is kind of a moot point because of that. All right, what is it? Oh, shit. Accusations of witchcraft? Has somebody figured this shit out? About Evie? All right, hold on. Oh, I think it looks like it's somebody else. What does it say? Bloodstained cloth, crow's feathers, strange smelling concoctions. This is the evidence presented to me by a group of villagers from Thomond as proof that Kiar... Oh, thank God, not me. Who the hell is Kiar? I don't even think Kiar's not even in my court. She's just some wanderer. She's pretty. She's a mystic. It doesn't say... We don't know for sure she's a witch. But anyway, okay, so I was afraid the accusation... Because Evie's been a witch for a while. It's on the DL. She never told anybody she's the witch. But it is a secret about her that is potentially discoverable. And if it is discovered in a world that's basically run by the Catholic Church, it's not good. She is worshipping the one true horned God. Yes, Nick. Nick, it seems familiar with this. All right. Proof that Kiar has been practicing witchcraft in her hut on the outskirts of their village. The villagers claim her evil works must be the cause of their poor harvest and are calling for execution. I don't think we're going to allow that. All right, let's see this. Oh, wow, that's nice, Lady Wendy. She posted it in the Post Weird Crap Here page in Discord. If anyone wants to check it out. That's really cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. All right, my options here. The evidence is circumstantial. Release her. And what happens there? I get a 300 stewardship lifestyle experience. That's good. But then I get upset. That county gets upset peasant status for 5 years. Uh-oh, that could be a problem with my low control problem. That could end up like being the straw that broke the camel's back that leads one of those uprisings I told you about. She must burn for her crimes against God. I gain 100 piety. I do not need piety right now. This person's killed. I gain 20 stress because I'm compassionate. It's against Evie's nature to execute somebody for being a witch. I'm surprised she doesn't get some extra penalty because she herself is secretly a witch. I mean, how shitty would that feel for someone who's has the sensibilities of like a compassionate person, that they're secretly a witch, and when they hear rumors that someone else is a witch, they have them executed. Oh, thanks for posting that, Nick. I figured... Oh, I guess the link that I have in my description signs up. Is how to sign up for my thing. For some reason, I was like, oh yeah, just click that and you'll go there. Yeah, I thought people will figure out how to get to my Discord. But I appreciate that. You'll upgrade paper when you get more of an income. That's fair. Final option. A witch, you say? I could use a new advisor. Uh-oh. Is this what Evie would do? So she joins your court. You have to spend 100 piety. This person ends up super duper liking you. But you get upset peasants. So I'm gonna get the upset peasants either way, unless I kill her. Which I'm not gonna do. She's got a really good diplomacy stat. Like if I did bring her into the court, well, my chancellor now's diplomacy is 18, and her diplomacy is 21, which is better. Also, she's only 24, and she's in good health. And I guess, or she's in fine health, not super rough. But so is now the thing is my current chancellor is 60, which in the year 914 of our Lord, it's a pretty advanced age. Unless you're the Pope, and then you never die. Now I think my chancellor is good enough. I don't know how well it would play if I took an accused witch wandering my land and made her one of the primary players in the kingdom because she had good diplomacy skills. I think that might not work in my favor. And also, I like to get lifestyle experience, so we're going to do that. We're going to let her go. We're going to make the peasants mad. And that was enough to get me a new lifestyle perk. Oh, hold on. My champion Erp. I'm going to close this. My champion Erp bows briefly before me and explains with a satisfied smile. My lady, you might remember that some months ago you invested a large sum of gold into a cadastre. I don't know what that means. A cadastre of your counties. Okay, so I remember this. Somebody came in. Oh, I got to show you now that I'm EV23, the queen, the High Queen of Ireland. We have a throne room, and you hold court. Once you hit and that's one of the major expansions for this game. Once you're at a kingdom or higher level political entity, like rulership, you get a royal court, and you get to hold court. And it's this whole additional, layer of the game. And this was a thing that came up during the court, is this guy came up and said, this cadastre, whatever, basically it's a survey of your realm. And he's like, if you give me 100 gold, I'll give you a survey of your realm. It may take some time. So it's probably been a couple years. He said, I have personally supervised the matter and can apparently say the job is done. What is it? Development progress increased by 50. Development is just something that happens in the counties. It's part of what I need to have them have in order to have enough, influence eventually to change the succession law. One of the main things that I want, one of my main objectives in this game, is to get rid of the fucking succession law where every time a leader dies, their titles are divided equally amongst their heirs. That's bullshit. You want the firstborn to get everything. And if anyone else gets anything, it's just gravy. It's just like, I'm just being gracious. Here, you can have this because I'm nice. Let's see. Pope likeness, yeah. She's a witch, that's so dope. It's true, it's dope, but you don't put that person in, you don't make them in charge of the country's, you don't make them the chancellor of your country. That seems like going too far. I am not playing don't let your children do it, you won't accept the advisors. Yeah, I'm not playing into any of the secret witch stuff. No, EV23 took on a ward for, I might have been one of Hunty's children after one of her husbands died. She was like, I need someone to help educate my damn kid. So EV23 took their kid, I think it was one of Hunty's kids, EV23 took them as a ward in her household and educated them and handled their upbringing. And that's what happens. Every child that EV23 raises, about right before they hit adulthood, she gets the chance to decide whether to secretly indoctrinate them into being a witch. And every time it's come up, I think 3 times so far. And each time I'm like, nah, we don't want witchcraft spreading in my dynasty, where we're gonna end up having a whole bunch of people in my dynasty end up being witches in 100 years from now. half the dynasty is fucking witches. Like, it's hard to keep a secret. It's hard to keep a secret when you play in that way. So, we're having EV23 is going to play it like, yeah, there's probably realistically, if she believes in the horned god and all that shit, she's probably like, would want to find ways to pass it on to like her heirs and shit. But we're playing this EV23 as a pragmatist who's like, yeah, this shit's going to spin out of control if I start spreading it around. It's just going to be my little secret, you know? Is it the first time I've told you about the succession rules, Brad? Well, I could go into it more. I can actually go to the page that shows the different levels of partition succession. If you're interested, just let me know. All right. So what this does for me is development increased by 50. This guy gains 75 prestige, and every county gets that. And then I gain 150 prestige. So not a bad deal for 100 gold, I guess, since I've got a few hundred under the belt now. Oh yeah, the perk. I can choose the perk. I've changed my lifestyle focus to the stewardship lifestyle. Let's see, what was I gonna move towards? Domain limit, popular opinion. I forget which one of these I was. Oh, tax woman. Collect taxes effectiveness plus 25%. I think I was gonna go for that shit. Meritocracy. Team power, vassal levies, monthly tyranny. I don't necessarily need that. Direct vassal opinion. Okay. Chancellor opinion, honor to serve, tax collection from your vassals. So I think I want to pursue the administrator path, but I think this is low-hanging fruit. This tax woman just flat out increases tax collection effectiveness by 25%. It's right there. I'm going to take it. All right, let's see what's popped up here. Doesn't this guy have a successor? Yeah, well, that guy. I don't know why. I think I keep assigning... Oh, maybe the other guy died. You have these special champions that you name. And then you can, like... You have to formally name a successor that takes that title after they're gone. Lawrence Hawk 25 can marry. Like I said, we're not gonna have a whole bunch of damn heirs while I can't control what he's doing. He's an NPC right now. I'll be playing him someday, hopefully, but not now. I can't play him until Evie dies. No offense, Evie. You're wonderful and you're a great queen. I don't want you to die, but you know, Lawrence Hawk cannot take the throne until you're dead, Evie. That's the sad reality of it. So. Evie, you're terrible at keeping secrets. This is yet another reason why the EV23 in the game is not going to tell anybody. Is to make up for real Evie here in the chat. Just like, I bet the EV23 in the game is like, does the same thing. She's like, she's in court, and she's like, ha ha, yes, I'm totally secretly a witch. And then she's like, I'm totally secretly a witch. No. These are people that I could, based on, like, shared blood, could potentially have alliances with, but none of them will do it right now. Because they don't like me enough. I don't need them enough either to try and pursue it right now. Create a duchy, not going to do that right now. Low control in counties. Yeah, these are all the counties I have low control in, so that's an issue. All right. Unpausing, Brad. Look at this. Oh, well, that didn't last long. But this is an event. Insular exaltation. So insular Christianity is our version of Catholicism in Ireland. It's sort of like still sort of under the Pope. It's under the Pope, but the Pope's like, you guys are not doing it right. Archbishop Gillibrite. I think that's my guy. That's my Archbishop. Has gained a spotless reputation for his absolute rejection of any carnal pleasure. His unwavering discipline has served as an example to follow for many young insularists trying to resist the debasing lure of lechery. How commendable. No immediate effects. And what this has caused is insularism's fervor. I guess that's a trait of the type of our religion itself has increased by 10. All right. Let's take a look at that real quick. I don't even know what the hell fervor is. Fervor is 100%. The actual effects of a faith's fervor is always relative to the fervor of the opposing faith. For example, okay, so what this is if there's, for example, if real Catholicism is starting to mingle with our weird rural version of it here in Ireland, and culturally they start competing, apparently the level of fervor of your denomination is what measures how resistant it is to being, like, to conversion or being able to convert someone else. All right, I kind of don't care about that. I kind of would like us to all be Catholic so that we wouldn't have something. Here, I know I've shown some of you, of a number of you this before, but this is what the breakdown of religion looks like in Western Europe. There's Catholic, which is this giant thing run by the Pope, and then there's insular, which is this. It's mostly just me, and I think this one other duchy. Hello, we're the insularists. And, yeah, the Catholics consider us astray, and we consider them astray. Even though the Pope is the head of the Catholic religion, is also somehow the head of our religion. But the fact that we are not Catholic like everybody else means that there's a low-grade tension between us and everyone else all the time. Although that could be an advantage in declaring wars as I slowly take over the world. But I feel very uncomfortable being this little corner of the heathen version of Catholicism in a Western Europe that has a huge, huge Catholic presence. All right. Let's unpause this shit. Did that war just end? No, they're still fighting. What's the status of this thing? 5 more months. Oh shit. Is it happening? Dangerous faction. Here come the goddamn peasants. The peasant rabble. There are 2 members. So there's the peasants of these guys. Alright, so Mayo and Humane or whatever this is. Yeah. Humane. They're both peasant factions that if we don't, they will eventually make demands, and if we do not concede their demands, and those demands will typically come in, like, whatever control we do have over the county. Like, we get 70, it gets negative 75 to it. Like, something that severely gimps our ability to rule this area. Then all of the levies, it's basically all the soldiers that when we go to war, that we can raise, they're not soldiers, but the people that you raised in your armies, all the ones that we could normally raise from these 2 counties, they're all going to rise up instead as a force against me. Which, let's see, these guys have 179, and these guys have 211. Which basically means, like, what have I got? Without even calling in allies, I've got 3,500. So, at this point, unless something screwy happens, like, here's the thing, it's possible other more powerful people, and stop it, Siri things, I'm not talking to you. It's possible that other more powerful people could potentially join this faction and make it a real threat. But I don't think it's a good look for like royalty or nobility to join a peasant faction. I don't think that's really anything that I don't know that that's even possible. Or if it is, I think it's very unlikely. So we can already tell right now that the potential numbers that these guys can raise are not remotely going to be a problem. The only context in which they'd be a problem is if they rose up while I was already in like kind of a close war against someone else, and all of a sudden they pop up. They could make things complicated for me. And hey, Mind69, how you doing, man? Welcome back. You watched the Succession yet? I just remember a few weeks ago I mentioned I was watching the Succession. And you're like, I have to put that on the list of things to watch. And you gotta watch, all of The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead first, though. So you gotta follow in my footsteps. That's how you do it. I'm in season 4 of Succession right now. I think I'm getting towards the end. Season 4 is the series is over and it ends at the end of season 4. So things are looking like, I don't know. Things are not looking good for the characters. Things are going in a bad direction. Oh yeah, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. I have a hard time deciding which ones should be watched first if you've never watched either one of them. At this point, if you're going to set foot in the Breaking Bad universe. Because obviously Better Call Saul was created with the expectation that a huge portion of the audience will have already seen Breaking Bad. It was written with that idea in mind. All right. Oh, my prisoner died. Oh, let that be a... Let that be a lesson to the peasant factions, because I'm pretty sure this was one of the peasant leaders. I think. Oh shit, what was she? Lowborn? Yeah, she's a peasant. She was one of the leaders in the last peasant rebellion. Let me see who else. I didn't execute anybody, but I think I just let those... They're the only prisoners that I've just left in the prisons to rot. Usually after a war's over, I let people go. But that's only people of noble or royal blood. Worthy adversaries. When it's your own subjects, the peasants rising up against you, you don't just release them when the war is over. It's like, all right, we had a good shot, now everybody's free again. I guess historically I have done that in the past, but oh wait, this one was in here for 6 years, and this one was in here for 4 years. Maybe this guy. Who was this guy? He's the head of a house. Oh, I think he was just part of a regular war and I forgot about him. He's Irish? He's a member of a house? How the hell did he end up in prison? It's been so... When a guy's in prison, I don't even remember why. That's kind of a problem. Was he part of... No, he couldn't have been part of the rebellion. He's part of a noble house. He's got a really good prowess. He'd make a great knight, too. Maybe now I'm worried, like, occasionally you'll catch people plotting, like, to kill my husband, or plotting to kill my sister, or something like that, and then you throw him in jail. Now I'm a little worried he may be one of those people. You know what? Hell, I'm going to let him out. Here. Can we ransom you? No, not for a hook. Alright, can I just let you go negotiate a release? Yeah, just get out of here. You've done your time. I don't remember. If I can't remember what you did, and you've been in there for 6 years, it's time for you to go home. And now the question is whether he's going to end up being one of my knights. Wandering. Do I have more? Oh, I guess my knight roster is full. I don't even know how to look at my knights again. In a feudal area, I think there was a button here under military where you can look at your knights. Prisoners, couriers. This guy is Kolku. Is he considered a guest? Oh, there's a lot of people hanging around in my court right now. I guess he's not in my court. No, invite to court. Okay, I'm like sort of interested in his oh, let's see. Oh god, no, my marshal's flipping awesome. He'd make a good knight to have in the background. You know what? Here, no hard feelings. Pay for their travel expenses? Why would I do that? How much does that cost? 25 gold? No. Here, you can live in my court because I was looking at you in the prison cell and I was like, damn, you know how to fight. You'd make a good knight. Here, get out of there. Come be in my court. But the other person who's in jail? A peasant who rose against me. Oliak. And now she was lowborn. House arrest. I wish I could like look now and figure out why I imprisoned them. Like I honestly don't remember. But I'm pretty sure. You know what? Hell, we'll let her out too. You know what? Can we ransom you? No. Just get the hell out of there. I'm feeling gracious today. Get out. It's get out of jail free day. Brad, if EV23's sensibilities are such that if she just, and she could execute the person, someone who's like lawfully imprisoned, you can decide to execute them. That would cause poor EV23, High Queen EV23, a tremendous amount of stress. If you think about High Queen EV23's well-being. So Breaking Bad first, got you. The thing is like, honestly, I kind of like Better Call Saul better. But I can't say whether that's because I already watched Breaking Bad or not. But, and I think there are people that think that Breaking Bad is like, overall, is the better show. But I really enjoyed Better Call. I like both of them a lot, but I really like Better Call Saul. So, well, yeah, I just released 2 new peasant rulers out of the land to uprise on me. Is that what I just did? Okay. He joined my court. Where's that damn page where I can... Down, total soldiers. Oh, champions. Here it is. All right, who fucking sucks as a champion? What is this guy's name? Kolku. And his prowess is 14. So we got 12 out of 12 champions already. But probably we go down to the bottom of this list and some of them are shitty champions. This guy, Lugid or whatever. Nah, get the hell out. You're no good. Wait, gotta make sure he's not, like, somebody important. Nah, he's nothing. Get the hell out. You're not a knight anymore. Alright? But you... Where'd he go? 14? Kolku, you are a knight. You've been drafted. Oh god, this guy's got 23? Maybe it's time to... Oh, but he's in fine health. He'd make a really good knight too. Although his personality is rapacious. Is that rape, like a raper? Rapacious adventurer? I don't know what that word rapacious means. So what are my word people? Does it have to do with forcibly doing things to people? He's an aggressive attacker, holy warrior, hunter, tough soldier. All right, let's see about recruiting this guy to court. How much does it cost? 25 gold. Hey, yeah, bring him in. Okay, if he's just greedy, that's fine. As long as he's not doing the R word on people, that's fine. All right, now he's in the court. All right, the other thing to check out is to make sure I don't accidentally have important people being knights. Because knights, when you go to war, they are on the battlefield. And they can and will die. So, if you've got, like, somebody who's, you know, like your chancellor or your steward, and they're great at being stewards, and they've sort of auto-knighted themselves in the back, they've become a champion, they're probably going to fucking die. So it's like, that's where you go through. I'll go through all the people who are on my council, with the exception, I actually let the marshal do it, because the marshal has a really high... I think he's got a really high martial skill. If you have a high martial skill, you're likely to survive the battles. But if you've got a shitty martial skill and you're a champion, you go into the battle, you're probably going to get fucking killed. Aggressively greedy. About like a landlord. Or an ex. Yeah. Probably another great example. So yeah, the marshal, my marshal, he's on the council. I'm letting him be there because he's got like he's got the highest martial or prowess skill in the land. This other one's pretty good too. But he's not like he's a vassal, but he's not he's not on my council. And he's master of the hunt. I did assign there are a bunch of positions that you can assign in court. And I did also assign a bunch of people to those things. Because now I've got money and I can afford it. When High Queen Evie 23 finally does die, there's going to probably need to be a massive restructuring. Because the new ruler is not going to have the influence, the political clout to maintain a lot of what Evie is doing right now is because she's a powerful and respected ruler. And when she's gone and little Lawrence Hawk steps up, there's a lot of stuff that she's able to do that he won't be. He's going to have to... So, probably, he's going to have to give away some lands because no one's going to respect him enough to let him rule as much as she's been ruling, etc. Where are my, the courtiers? Court positions. So, I've got the court position, the antiquarian, the people who takes care of our artifacts. A caravan master makes our troops move faster. I have a food taster, someone that helps thwart hostile schemes. I have a master of the horse, increases knight effectiveness. Master of the hunt helps increase your chances of being successful in hunt events. High almoner increases your piety. Seneschal, growth control, which is control growth, and he helps increase that. I have a court jester. He helps relieve stress. I have a court poet that can randomly become inspired, and I think I'm not sure exactly what happens. Let me see. I think they create artifacts. You can commission an artifact from them if they become inspired. Court musician increases opinion gain if I host a feast. Personal champion. My personal champion any good? Ooh. Ooh. Why is that my personal champion? My personal champion kind of sucks. I guess nobody's looking that exceptional. His aptitude is average. And he's 60. Alright, he's not going to like this, but I think we need to get a slightly younger man who's actually considered good at being a champion to be my personal champion. Sorry, Con Mac. He's my chancellor. He's not going to like this, but you're fired as my personal champion. No more. Oh yeah, he didn't like that. He still has plus 67 opinion of me, so I'm not worried. But he didn't care for it. All right. And then there's still open positions I haven't filled, but that's where you heard the word vassal. It was here. Popped into your head earlier this week, and you couldn't remember where you heard it. Yeah, vassal. Or you're saying you know what a vassal is, but you didn't. You just are like, where did I hear that word? Someone was talking about vassals recently, or was it like literally? You're in my stream and you're like, what's a vassal? Oh my gosh, that's an interesting. Like you learned what a vassal was. I'm sure you knew what a vassal was. I like to think that I'm bringing. I'm enlightening people in my streams, but that's really shouldn't be getting ahead of myself. I doubt that's happening. I'm sure there's some people learning about medieval politics though. Especially Brad. Because every time I say something, it's the first time he's ever heard it. He loves it. He gets dumber bit by bit coming here every week, but it's exactly what I need. See, there you go. That works. It works out. That guy's a huge vassal. Hey, your vassal's showing. Why do I not have a worthy successor again? Why do they keep not having worthy successors? Alright, now screw you, dude. What happened to your last success? Oh, did he suck and I got rid of him? Now, I know that there's some really good people in my court. Why aren't they coming up as options? That's what I don't get. Oh, I'm not going to worry about it. Screw you. All right. We're just all I wanted to do is wait for this damn siege to end so I can attack them, but I keep getting sidetracked. Too many things are happening. You consider your cat to be a worthy successor? I guess, it's all about standards, right? You know what rapacious means? I didn't know either. I'm learning stuff. I learned that from you, what it meant, Lady Wendy. So we're learning from each other here. Chieftain Coleman of Brefin finished the increased control task in Athlone. Okay. So does, let's see. Control county. All right. So it's no longer flagged as a problem county. 99, 83, 83, 55, 55, 55, 99, 99. Okay, these are slowly going up. So I think I want to start with the most screwed up ones. Dublin. Let's have him establish increased county control in Dublin. This is the one that's really having some problems. Wait, did we do it? Oh yeah, he is doing it. Yep, he's gonna... So that's his thing now. Okay, no, we're good. I better save my game. Even though I've barely been unpaused, I've actually done a lot of, like, little things. Let's do a, primary and secondary save. Dublin Jameson. So many things. Just look at all the things happening on the screen. You get it, Nick. Oh my god, my Fitbit just told me it's time to start winding down for bed. But that's not what you guys want to hear. Here, I'll still play a little. Githa the Birkenhamsted gained 20 opinion of me because of my spouse's average diplomacy skill led to this windfall. Who is this person? It's my granddaughter. Whose daughter? This is EV24's daughter. Evie is the it's Countess EV24, Nig EV23 of Hereford. The wife of Earl Sinnehelm Egwigson of Hereford. Let's see where they live. To refresh my memory. Alright, so EV24 is the Duchess of this place. Countess of this place. Boo, Fitbit. Fitbit's full of shit. Oh, wow. A lot of hostility toward the old Fitbit. Well, I am starting to get hungry, too, so that's going to be another factor. Not just what my Fitbit tells me. All right, well, it's nice to know that my Is that a daughter? My granddaughter likes me 20 units more of like because of my husband's effort. I do have one. I have a leftover bonus burrito. I did get my contractual Taco Bell today. My contractual weekly Taco Bell. What is this guy doing? You better not be raiding my shit. You go ahead and raid this stuff. Don't raid my shit. Okay. Another factor. Factor keeps trying to entice me back by offering me $2.99 a meal. I've considered it a couple times, but transitioning between services can be a little rough because they have different delivery days. Alright, exotic arms. Along with their strange goods, merchants bring tall tales from distant lands, unverifiable, full of wonder. A group of Anglo-Saxon peddlers purport to have brought Tokaro Yugur objects. I don't know what that means, but said to have come from the faraway court of a great ruler, Idiquit Uzar of Quocho, no less. Sounds like a bunch of made-up shit. Northwine, the leading trader, grins darkly. This unique sword could be yours for a special price, of course, great High Queen. A likely yarn indeed. I look to Colombe for guidance. It is certainly no fake, my liege. This work is indeed coauction and of high quality. Colombe, what, why? What do you know about it? Oh, he is my antiquarian. That's what he knows about it. Okay, so he's my expert on relics. How much is this thing going to cost me? 105 gold? And I will become the owner of the Bilja sword. Or I can say, ha, Charlick, what tripe? Out with you, with no immediate effect. Probably some kind of... You know what? I'll take the damn magic sword. I don't know if it's magic, but I'll take the magic sword. I will say, based on Crusader Kings 2, I say now kind of jokingly, the sword's the magic sword. There is, in Crusader Kings 2, in this world, like in this, there was magic. Like, I'm pretty sure one of my monarchs gave birth to the Antichrist. Like, these three witches, anyways, like, the three witches came heralding my son's birth, and I had this son born, and all of his stats were like maxed out. He was the most skilled, skilled at diplomacy, skilled at war, skilled. It was like, holy shit, this guy is the most powerful thing. And then as he's growing older, these witches keep visiting him and stuff. It was crazy, but it did teach me that there was some crazy shit that can happen in these games. They're not always sticking strictly to like, oh, it's just what's, what could have really happened. Well, I guess technically that kind of it could have been, that could have happened, but normally, like, real historians are not talking about like that. Oh yeah, you know, the Antichrist was born in Ireland in 1489. It's like it's not usually something we think about. 3 witches roaming the landscape, causing us to win all of our battles. All right, I'm gonna buy the sword. I've become the owner of Bilga sword. All right, let's see what the hell this is. We'll check Evie's inventory. The Bilga sword. Let's see. Prowess +5. I mean, Evie doesn't do a lot of fighting, but still, it's never bad. Glory Hound vassal levy contribution +2%. So I have a vassal that has a trait of being a Glory Hound. They give me more troops. Hey, there's click to equip. So Evie now wields Bilga sword. Good job, Evie. You look very impressive. Let's take a look. I was going to show you Evie's new court now that she's the queen, the high queen, too. So this is the royal court. Where's her husband at? Okay, here's Lawrence. Here's her son Lawrence right here. Very dashing, handsome young man. Long hair and a beard. Here's Evie. How's she now? Evie is 46 years old now. Not sure where her husband is. Usually he's sitting next to her, and randomly when you come in here, not everyone will be in here. Here's some of the court. There's the jester is there. Yeah. Her personal champion is standing nearby. Who's the guy whispering in her ear? This is the steward, the person that helps make sort of like the financial and resource management of the kingdom. There is Lawrence, her son Lawrence, standing nearby. One of the champions acting as a guard also. Who else is in here? Here's our chancellor. Just a random guest of the court. The antiquarian, the guy who's in charge of our artifacts. Some random guests and just people of the court. Other people of the court. There's our caravan master and one of our champions, one of our knights. And Fingon, our court physician, food taster, and acclaimed knight. This guy wears many hats, including that metal one. It is High Queen Evie to all of us. So let's see. And right now we've improved some of the features of our court. You start off at the bottom on all of them, so it's like last century's fashion. We invested a little bit of money to bump up the prestige, and now we just have out-modeled fashion. It's just a little out of date. Someday maybe we'll get to the next level, which is decent fashion. Our lodging started with minute lodgings. We built up to small lodgings. You know, good. We're just gonna start baby steps. We haven't upgraded our food, so our food is still... The food of this court is bland food. I could bump it up if I wanted to modest food. You know what? We can afford modest food. Let's do that. Yeah. You have changed your court amenities to modest food. We went from very few servants. We previously upgraded that to few servants. So our court is still not super impressive, but you know, we're not just like the worst court ever. Everything we do is not quite scraping the bottom of the barrel. And yep, there you are, Evie. High Queen Evie, sitting on that throne, ruling. Oh, let me get back in there for a sec. Every few years, you get an option to hold court. But then there's a cooldown on it. I think it's like a 5-year cooldown. So we can't hold court again until the 27th of October of the year 918. So yeah, we must have held court last year, and there's a 5-year cooldown. But then also randomly, things can, like, people can show up in the court with special requests or circumstances, and you get notified about it, and then you come to this court screen, and they'll, you know, it's like those other events where something will pop up. There will be like kind of a story, and then you'll have certain decisions you can make. When you're actually holding court, a line of people come up with certain problems they want you to solve or make a ruling on. All right, so this is about to end. Is that war over yet? Oh shit, are they... Wait a minute. Alright. Who the fuck... Okay, they're fighting... Earl Andre. Okay, we looked at that before. So, their enemy just... by capturing this city, just gained a 100% war score, which means probably they're about to cash out. Let's see what happens. Once they settle. Call to war. What? To the benign High Queen EV23 of Ireland, I call on you to honor our alliance and join me in the Castilian clash against the Sultanate of Al Aidana. Okay. This does happen sometimes. This is our latest husband that we married Hunty off to. He is he's Duke Rodrigo the second Dieguez of Castile, and he's now cashing in on our alliance to try to call me to war. I can decline, which I think would be bad, or I can accept. All right, I'm gonna accept. Yeah, okay, but god damn it, dude. This war here just ended, and I was gonna take advantage of the situation. Now I gotta raise my armies for other shit. But I think it's really bad form to say no. Like, that's the whole thing about an alliance is you've agreed that if they need you or they ask you, you'll answer. So, I'm gonna raise all my armies. And where's this war going on? It's all down here. All right. So I guess we're going to do some war. It's not going to be my war, but it's going to be a war. It's the War of Castile, who is, what would we call him? It's my daughter's husband, my son-in-law. Yeah? My son-in-law, who's married to Hunty, who's my daughter. Or Evie, High Queen Evie's daughter, that is. War never changes. And, let's see, this war that we are in. So, oh, they really need the help, don't they? Like, without me joining in, they're going to get their ass kicked. They may still, it may take me too long to get down there. I don't know, if I'd said no, he would have not had a chance at all. Hopefully by the time I get down here, it's not just me. And his army is completely wiped out. But this is our guy. And this is all the shit he's up fighting against right now. That's not great. Anyone else? No. Okay. Take Gibraltar! I could take, yeah. Is that the Rock of Gibraltar? Strategically speaking, though, it might be a better idea to push outward from, like, alongside my ally as a unified front. That's sort of more what I'm thinking. We're going to hit the ocean and I'm going to land here. That's the plan. I think it costs, like, 25 gold to embark into the sea. Alright, what's all happening? I joined a war, yes. Neighboring ruler lost war. Of course they did. All right. Let's see who the hell. All right, we're in the same situation. All right, well, I just can't. It is funny because my plan was to wait until exactly this war was over and then declare war against him so I can get this last chunk of Ireland that belongs to me because I'm the queen. Right, Evie? I'm the queen. I'm Queen Evie 23. Hi, Queen Evie 23. And this little chunk should be mine. But instead, like literally the same fucking minute that war ended, which was I was waiting for that war to end before I started mine. It's waiting my turn. My damn son-in-law starts a war half a world away. And because I'm honorable, High Queen, I'm going to answer the call. Put my interests aside. Enemy allies are joining the war. I think we might be in trouble now. Okay, no, there have been like. All right, we're gonna see. This war's just starting. All right. All right. No, we're just gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. Get out there. Get out in your boat. Now, all you neighbors with all your raiding armies and shit, don't take advantage of the situation. I'm sending my entire military 1,000 miles away. You will surely not take advantage of the situation. All right, our plan, at least for now, is to land here. Is that going through the sea? Is that a bad idea? I guess we'll find out. Some games make me wary of leaving coastal seas. Like going out here is going to be a problem. There we go. Sailing the ocean blue. Well, Evie's still at home. Evie doesn't go to war. Lawrence is staying at home. They're rooting for him. They're sitting there with their thumbs up at home. 2 thumbs up. We're rooting for you guys. Oh, no, there goes... Okay, the Pope died. Like, I never thought it was ever going to finally happen, but it did. All right. The Pope is dead. All hail the Pope. So let's see. Let's find us some new... Let's see who the new Pope is. Pope Victor II. Hey, he's only 28. Better start schmoozing now. Gonna sway the Pope. My scheme to make him like me better. Oh, evil. Yes, I know. See, can I get any favors from the Pope yet? No. Ooh, look at this, Brad. You can designate a guardian for your grandson, Brad Pritchard Hawk. I forgot about Brad Pritchard Hawk. Wait, who's... Brad Pritchard Hawk. Recipient. Here, I wonder if I can make Brad look more bratty. He definitely needs different hair if he's going to be like Brad. Brad's kind of like this, but a little bit longer. He needs like the longer rock star hair. That one with the sort of the wavy hair, that looked kind of like Brad. We might go back to that one. That one's too long. We give Brad a mullet. Some epic dreads. If it were just a little longer, this would make me think of Brad. That's too curly. That's got too much of like a weird middle-aged hairline for a young man. All right, we're gonna give there. That'll be what little Brad, little young Brad, and I think we'll leave everything else as is. But that's little Brad. And I think we're going to raise little Brad ourselves, if that's a thing. Wait, where did my decisions go? Where did all my things with my decisions go? It's still there, but it's now invisible? Okay, that's not okay. I know, it's just not there. Ooh, where did it go? Because the whole thing I wanted to do was see, I have an invitation to join a grand tournament in Porto. Where's that? Oh, right where the fucking war is. Okay. Yeah, when our whole army is abroad, and they're asking if Evie also wants to just leave the fucking country and go, like, watch a tournament. Now, I think it's a bad time for Evie to be, like, leaving the country. Spending a year traveling. Maybe another time. I'm a little troubled that my icon about this little notification icon's gone. I didn't mean to dismiss it. Outliner. Is there a button? How did I make it go away? Image. There it is. All right. Designated guardian for my grandson, Brad. Yeah, I will be your guardian. Because, EV23 declared celibacy. So this means that we'll get to help mold young Brad Pritchard Hawk. And we'll get to influence his childhood. And of course, we'll get the routine decision when he hits around 15 years old to decide whether we want to teach him how to be a witch. Maybe we'll ask Brad. We'll ask Brad if he wants to be a witch when the time comes. If Brad's in the chat, maybe it'll be the first other member of the Hawk Dynasty that EV23 finally teaches secretly to worship the Horned God. So yeah, Brad Pritchard Hawk became your ward. So now I'm raising. Now who's Brad's mother? Oh, say the Brad Pritchard Hawk is Hunty's son. All right, Hunty, you there? Brad's your kid. You got to be nice to Brad. Well, actually, you just sent him to live with me, so you're not responsible for him. Still, you're a terrible mother, but just remember, send him something on his birthday. EV23 will be taking responsibility for his upbringing. So, remember, EV23, got to teach Brad good. Don't teach him weird shit. Unless he wants to worship the Horn God, then we'll consider it. All right. Now, back to war. The Kingdom of Navarre. Okay, so who the... All right, what the hell is going on right now? I'm being raided. Oh, those fuckers. Who's doing that to me? Chieftain Jartafar has started the Skinnerson of Shurtafurki. 18 years old, raiding my shit. See, the advantage he has is I'm never going to remember that name. It's just a whole bunch of consonants. Okay, that's probably culturally insensitive. Maybe. What a guy, though. Yeah, I can't do shit about it. Go ahead. Pillage all my shit while I'm out of town. Alright, all that I really wanted to do... So I think we're going to start from the top and just work our way down. And in fact, we may split our army into two, because it doesn't look like there's anything going on up here. Our army, we'll do a little split. Probably having them all in one place, if it's not necessary for supply reasons, is probably a problem too. Right now, there's no monthly attrition for supply problems, but I think when they were all one army, there was. What was that? Oh! Royal Court. There's one new situation in court. All right, let's see what's going on. EV23's got to be ready to solve some problems. Cobflaith, your poet. Oh, I wonder if they're inspired. Okay. They probably are inspired. We can probably commission them to do a great poem for us. A ghostly pen. My poet, as she always does as soon as I am in range, starts to declaim me. Oh, you precious darling. It must be such a hardship to live life as one abandoned by the muses. You command armies, but you cannot command the written word. This is very condescending. Has mankind ever witnessed a more exquisite tragedy? Allow me to assist you. I could write some of your speeches for you. Tell me the theme, and I shall apply a beauteous turn of phrase. Beauteous is not a real word, you idiot. This is my poet using that kind of word? All right. I can say my words could use a certain lowered infusion. I gain 100 diplomacy lifestyle and gain ghostwriter for 5 years. They gain opinion of me and they get a weak hook on me. Okay, what's the other option? My words may not be fine, but they are from the heart. And then I gain honest speaker for 2 years. Is beauteous a real word? Sounds like a made-up word. Like I used to have someone that would say beautimus. They go beautimus. And he always was making up words. Maybe beautimus was a real word all along. It's been 30 years. I thought he was making all that shit up. Beauteous is a word? Alright, that's news to me. Sounds like made up shit to me. But it shows what I know. God damn, I was an English major and I don't know. There's so many words I don't know. Did you just know that word already, Nick? I don't really need diplomacy lifestyle experience, though. I'm not developing my diplomacy perks. And do I need to get her opinion up? I don't see why being... Her personality is evil lackey. Okay, whatever. She may not like this, but yeah. I don't know what ghostwriter does, though. Honest speaker or ghostwriter? I'm gonna be honest speaker. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm just gonna be me. I'm Evie. I am High Queen Evie23, and I will speak my own words. Thank you very much. Let's see what honest speaker does. Oh, it increases my personal scheme power by 4. So I'm gonna make the Pope like me extra hard now because I'm an honest speaker. Sure, I wouldn't use it though. It sounds kind of pretentious. Yeah, it does. It sounds kind of like bullshit word, but anyways, I guess once having now discovered that it is in fact a real word, it gets promoted from bullshit word to pretentious word. I'm on the same page. I agree with you. Let's see what else is little special things that does Evie have. She has accomplished translator because she authored a well-regarded translation. She's got that until 9/18, another 4 years. She has spying holes. That was one of the people that came to court, offered to make like secret passages through the castle, through the capital. To have like secret passages with eye, like spooky old looking through the paintings, eye holes, spying on the people in the castle. We got that. Evie paid for it. She thought that was some cool shit. Honest speaker, yep. Supporting peaceful politics. So she had someone said the two people came asking whether she support a warlike philosophy or peaceful philosophy, and she chose peaceful. And finally, attentive care, receiving close personal care for wounds and illnesses. I don't know what caused that. That's probably something to do with my court physician. All right. You have a degree in broadcast journalism, so ghostwriter sounds cool to you. Well, maybe if you were would that mean that you would be the ghostwriter, or that you would hire a ghostwriter? Maybe I should have asked you. I didn't even think to ask you if you had a preference one way or the other. So, all right. Oh, is this all one thing? Here. Let's do this. How long is this going to take? 17 months! Wow, we've really committed. We've really committed to this. How long is this one going to take? 18 months! Holy shit! These guys got real castles. I think that's the problem. I'm used to raiding people in Ireland where we just got a bunch of, like, wood sticks pointed loosely in a wall configuration. Here they got some real shit. That's not like Ireland. What are these stone walls? What do they make it out of this hard substance we've never seen before? God, dude, that's not an Irish. That's not a real Irish accent. Oh, what is this? What? To the obnoxious High Queen Evie 23? Who the hell is this? Oh, the peasants. Oh, shit, the peasants! I forgot about the fucking peasants, you guys. Oh, no. Can I call allies? No, I am the ally. God damn it, it's all coming together. Brad's like, go peasants. All right. But they usually, okay, maybe they're gonna bend me over here. Because I can't. Okay, let's see. To the obnoxious High Queen Evie 23. We have been burdened with your oppressive laws for far too long. No more. We are done paying you taxes. Once your coffers dry up and your larders are empty, you will wish you had treated us more fairly. What did I ever do? Okay, so I can say, I guess I could grant a tax lien. And the control will be changed by -75. I'm almost concerned. I'm almost interested to see exactly what. Let me look at factions. Leader. Oh, it's just Mayo? What's the control in Mayo looking like already? I think it's like 0 control already. Control, is it? Oh, it's at 31. I didn't realize there was that much control. So it's going to go to 0, but you know what? Crap. And then it gains increased autonomy for 10 years. Alright, the alternative is I gain never! A peasant's lot is to serve their lord. I will still lose control by 25. But I won't get that extra thing, increased autonomy. I'm guessing increased autonomy causes additional layer of control problems. But what I'm curious to learn is if my control level is 30 right now, and this is going to do negative 25, will this actually, this one's negative 75. Will it actually just bring this to 0? Which means that the only difference between these two numerically is that if I go to war, then the control level will be positive 5. And if I grant them a tax lien, it'll be 0 instead of 5. I want to see. Or is it going to end up being negative 45? So, in the name of science. Okay, the faction has disbanded. Let's look. Control is now 0, so it doesn't go into the negative, so that's good to know. So that's actually not that terrible a consequence. Mayo. No, I need to see the actual... Mayo. Earl of Mayo. The Earldom of Mayo. Okay. Increased autonomy is the status effect. It's going to be around for 10 years. And it reduces control growth by 50%. Okay, that's pretty significant. But it's just one... I mean, we could have put them down very easily if we'd had armies available, which we didn't. The other alternative is I probably could have hired mercenary armies, which would have cost an arm and a leg. So I think given the circumstances that our armies are all 1,000 miles away across the sea, this was probably the best option. Obnoxious ass. Yeah, that was rude. Why do you call him High Queen EV-23 obnoxious? That's not very nice. Have you even met EV-23? She's very nice. Look, she's compassionate, she's temperate, and she is stubborn. I guess maybe that's the stubborn part of it is obnoxious. I don't know. All right. Well, it looks like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, this is not going so good. Shit. We got 3,600 people making a move on this, about 2,500 between the two of them. They are going to need some help. So we're going to send one of our armies down to assist. I think we can get away with sending one down. You know what? This is a pretty dangerous game we're playing. I think we abandon the siege altogether. And just recombine our armies. We don't want anyone to get caught with their pants down in this situation. Like that guy just got caught with his pants down. Oh god. I should have been closer to them to begin with. All right, let's re-merge these armies. Let's just get across the river. All right. Oh, what just happened? It just all vanished. All right, let's take another look at this. No, the war's still going. Oh shit. All the troops are still there too. Okay, we're fighting the big enemy army. All right. So it's and no one's in a position to help. If these guys join in here, we could be in a lot of trouble. We're losing. We're getting our asses handed to us. So, okay, note to self. I should have stuck close to the allies from the beginning instead of, like, spreading out from them. Because if I'd been close enough to participate in the battle, they basically picked us up one by one. If I'd been close enough to join the battle that they got their ass kicked in, we would have won. Oh, we just got ass. Okay, what happened here? Ally King joins war. What is happening overall with the war? Our side has 6,600 soldiers. Their side only has 3,400. So altogether, we should be in a position to win this. Allied combatants captured. All right. Oh no, the Pope didn't like my scheme. Oh, we're gonna keep going. The Pope will like me. Yes. All right. So now what are we doing? Huh? There's this guy. I can't. Nicknamed the Worthy. Oh, what's this? My wife, have you heard what they call you? My husband Wolfmare says to me, while pursing his lips. They call you High Queen Evie 23 the Worthy. Spectacular, is it not? It's on the lips of the peasants and nobles alike. A cause for celebration, I think, Wolfmare exclaims with a cheery tone. Wow, you are now... Is that when we look at you? High Queen Evie 23 the Worthy. Wow, that's a good name to have. Who judged you? Or who judged you so is a matter of debate, but all agree that you are truly a woman of merit. Well done. Well done. Evie's like, I says, I can get used to this name. Wolfmar, my husband likes me 30 more. We already are like at 100. We have a great relationship. Now we like each other even more. Gain 150 prestige. I'll take it. Does he have a nickname? No. Does anyone else have nicknames? Who's got nicknames? Now I want to see what other people's nicknames are. Who's the king of the king of Leon? What's his nickname? No, he doesn't even have a nickname. Who's the king of France? What's his nickname? You know, he doesn't even have a nickname. What about the petty king of Wessex? Nope, no nickname. Look, it's pretty rare. Evie's the Worthy. All right. So what happens if I start marching? Is someone are you gonna join me? Oh, here come allies! Holy shit! Here comes the cavalry. All right, no, let's join that shit. We're all gonna huddle together like a bundle of sticks. You know, a bundle of twigs. You put them all together and you can't break them. The King of D's. The King of D's. From the Duchy of Nuts. I've lost a third of my army. I can't believe that. Wait. Where are you guys going? Alright, I'm gonna keep following you. Because I don't want to get caught with my pants down by myself again. Oh, are they going for it? They're gonna go for the... Alright, no, wait. Wait till we get there, you dick. Oh, they're going for it. Dude, wait till we damn get there. Someone declared war on me? Oh, this is getting too out of control. Who the hell is this? The Northern Army of Conquest. Who is this guy? Jarldom is a duchy title. Where? Who is this? Did he just make this up? Alright, well, I guess I can rally the troops. I don't know what the hell I'm going to rally. He's got 8,000 troops? Alright, well... I don't know what the fuck's happening now. Is this a rebellion? I don't know even who the hell this is. And why he has 8,000. I'm in some shit trouble right now. All right. No. All right. The others defeat. Inspired person can be sponsored. Oh my god. Okay. Calling allies to war. It's time to call in all the fucking favors. I can get... This person's got 600, 1,600, 1,300. We're still going to be, like, not even fucking close. But let's bring them on. Oh, call to war. There. This is the defensive war. Duke Rodrigo. I think he's already fighting. That's the first... But you know what? Here, you be in my war, too. I'll be in your war, you be in my war. Alright, this sucks, because I'm already pretty much committed here. To this battle. To the benevolent High Queen EV23 of Ireland. Of course, okay, this is all my, Alright, now let's hear, what is this inspired person? You can fund your first inspiration, and inspiration is the desire of a character to realize an artifact. Inspired characters come and go from the most prestigious royal courts of the world. When one stops at your court, you're notified and invited to sponsor this character's project. By paying varying amount of gold, you can secure this character's services, and after some time, a new artifact. Inside, okay, this is a little tutorial. Inside your royal court, you see all inspirations currently present and a court on your left. Oh, there's a couple in here. You can check their status by clicking on, or clicking their icon. So I'm going to see weapon inspiration. I don't want to look at that one, though. I already have a weapon. She wants to forge a magnificent weapon. She's considered a master by her peers. See, here you can see the inspired character, what they intend to make, how good their skill is, and if you can afford to fund it. If the inspiration is already ongoing, you can see how long it'll take to complete. If not, where? I don't see any of that information. But I don't want that one. What's the other one? He has the adventure inspiration. Wants to go to Western Europe. His skill is merely decent. This person's a master weaponsmith. Maybe I do want to go. Just look at what happens if I click this. 120 gold to forge a magnificent weapon. Huh. Alright. What is the other one if I do it? I give him 50 gold to go to Western Europe, and he gains opinion of me. And joins the court. That's not very impressive. Alright, you know, I'm going to try... I'm going to see what happens if I commission this master weapon. Even though I already have a weapon, maybe it'll be... I'm not sure how amazing my weapon is compared to what they may do. Based on martial and prowess. What are her stats? They're not that great. Alright, I'm still in the name of science. We'll see. Colblate opens a hand before bowing deeply. It's both an honor and a privilege to forge you a weapon. She speaks in a dignified way, but there's a glimmer of excitement in her eyes that betrays her serious demeanor. Tell me, what's your preferred way of fighting with a weapon? I wish to forge something that would suit you the best. Let's see something that can slash and pierce. I could get a dagger. Or 50% a dagger, 50% a sword. I want a weapon that makes full use of my strength. Gain an axe, a hammer, or a mace. I've heard to keep my enemies at a distance. You gain a spear. Or I trust your judgment. No, just no. So what do you think, Evie? If you commit something, you can get something where you'll end up with either a dagger or a sword. This choice would be like an axe, a hammer, or a mace. Or a spear. For some reason I can picture Queen Evie with a spear. She already has a sword, you know? Or you just tell him I trust your judgment. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to end the stream pretty soon. Just realized I started to get tired. I'm hungry. Do the spear! Alright, we're doing the spear. Alright. Oh wait, I guess I can do the other thing too if I want to. Do I want this guy in my court? He's got a good diplomacy skill. But aside from that, it's nothing amazing. Sponsor his inspiration. He wants to go to Western Europe. He likes me more and he'll join my court. No. Sorry, dude. No. All right. Well, now that an entire like shit show is happening, definitely time to save the game. We're just gonna save the main. We're gonna keep the secondary open in case I need to like walk the last 10 years back. In case my dynasty becomes obliterated from all these wars that I'm in. All right. Oh yeah, I'm tired. I just finally looked. Once I closed the stream or closed the game, I looked over at OBS and saw my face. Like shit. Have I looked this tired? Have I been looking this tired for a while now? All right, Mind 69 is gonna get the F out before the lullaby happens. He's like, "No, game's over. I'm getting out. I don't want to see it." I don't see where things. I know where things are gonna go. I don't want to see it. All right. So you know what? I think I'm gonna close shop pretty quick here. I'm gonna go to yeah. I don't think I've got the energy or the bandwidth to do a post game 20-minute chat. Thanks, Brad. Great job. Almost lost everything. Yeah, been pretty good. Pretty good. So, boom. All right, this is happening now. I know this is abrupt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brad. I'm sorry, mine. I'm sorry, EV20. Oh, mine was ready to get the hell out already. He's like, I'm out of here. But I know this is shocking and abrupt. Nick, I know this is not what you're used to. You know what? Even got enough time to type the word Silmarillion before the screen went black. Uh-oh. Brad needs my help. Brad, what do you need? What do you need? Brad, what do you need my help with? My God, what is it? What is it, Brad? No, actually, it's, I don't have IBS. It's not at the moment. You got stream send whiplash? Brad, no, I gotta know. Brad needs help. Brad, what do you need help with? It totally worked, Brad. Your ploy worked. I'm back. How often do I make the screen go black and then I come back? I'll probably stream this evening, so I need you to wake up to pee. Well, that's almost certainly going to happen, but it doesn't always. It doesn't always. What are you going to stream, Brad? Are you going to play Cult Simulator? Or the So I Joined a Cult? Or you can play some more Super Mega Baseball 4. Drink a lot of water. Well, the problem is if I drink a lot of water, I'll probably get up, 30 minutes after I fall asleep and pee. And then by the time, that won't guarantee anything. I'll probably pee too soon if I drink that much water. Oh my gosh, Nick wants more information about the Silmarillion. What is it about the Silmarillion you need to know, Nick? What is it? What do you have questions about the Silmarillion? And then after I pee, then drink some more water. Just keep the ecosystem flowing, right? Okay. I see where you're going with that. So, but what's this? What's going on over here? Oh, something. Oh, the light went out. Oh my God. Talk about Gandalf's race. Well, Gandalf is he's a being known as a classification of being known as the Istari. They are a couple of layers down below like deity. And I'm not gonna do it. Oh no, look where Evie's sad. EV23 is sad. Go to sleep and good night. Your eyes are getting so heavy. Go to sleep now. Brad Pritchard, EV23, Nick C. Who else is here right now? Medjay Maxi, Mind 69. Go to sleep. I'll be waiting for you in your dreams. Whatever happened to hunting? Maybe Joss is still there playing his RuneScape. Jeff. I think Jeff is still there. Sometimes Tooth maybe there. Tooth shows up at the end of the streams a lot of times. I don't know. Lady Wendy, did she ever officially leave? Maybe she's still there. What is that? No, I'm gonna have a burrito, which will probably cause a chain reaction that will lead later to a poop from J Maxi. It's all a question of when. Oh, there's Joss. Lurkers never get it. Well, I did talk about you in the post lullaby musings, which are happening right now. In fact, I'm addressing you even. Probably defeats the purpose of ending my stream if I'm just going to keep talking directly to you guys. Thank you, Maxie. I will. And I'll be waiting for you in your dreams, Joss.